and in good fashion. We are just abusing one of our, I'm going to say original members, but I guess technically also admin. And co-writer for this entire fucking campaign.
And I talk, and there's a baguette. By the way.
No reason.
Why are you my cat?
There's no reason why I'm your cat.
What?
Let me be.
I love it.
Before we actually get into the session, I'm going to say hello to everyone in chat. We're all in charge, so everyone just abuse everyone, I guess.
Gotcha.
Got it.
Hi, chat.
Equal abuse.
Abuse.
And in proper Ricky Martin fashion,
I can see the
I'm
cat now.
eating.
I just can't see anything for Fabienne.
No, I do not have Picture.
I don't have character art yet, so that's Salem for now. Salem's a cat. Not even a black cat, just some random.
Pinky, you can keep your goddamn worm tongue away from me. Ew. Pinky, roll 1 for get the fuck away from me, or else.
They keep your worm tongue away from you, and all I can think of is when he has his Venom skin on in Fortnite.
He does the fucking little hip dance. Just like approaching me like that. That's terrifying. I hate it, thanks. Disgusting. I think eventually I'm going to find something to fill this big blank space above everyone's images.
I got a blank space, boy.
Baby. And I will jot down your letterings.
Well, I was going to say, may I fill your blank space?
Indeed. Stabby also just followed. I'm not going to say hi, welcome in, because you're a week late. Fuck you.
So mean.
You missed session 0, and in true Quad Maverick fashion, it didn't save, so there's no proof that it happened. But
yeah,
fuck you.
I do have a small recap written up about the actual like story itself, but nothing that the characters did. So if you missed the session 0, it's on you, really.
I'm very much looking forward to this then, with no context.
Yeah, absolutely no context of what happened on that caravan between Talzin and Ricky Martin. Where Ricky Martin even got his name from. Why Salem is actually just a cat, and why Fabian doesn't have an image.
Yeah.
You know nothing. You do not know who this silver-haired motherfucker is to the left of my image. And you also don't know why my image is just me. Am I the DM? Am I just playing as myself? Who knows? We'll never know.
How fucking meta. He just wrote himself into the campaign.
Yeah, Fizban is just me in like 10 years. Just an old man, really eccentric. I was Fizban all along.
Old man Chrissy.
If everyone makes their hero forges, then I can use them as references for
Ooh, that is true.
future art stuff. So please do that.
Yeah, Angel also reached out and wants the same thing. She wants descriptions and maybe some references, and she wants to do some fan art as well. We have fans, guys. We're famous now.
Oh my god.
I'm so famous!
Oh, you guys.
Whoa.
Anyway, is
when am I
everyone
getting my
prepared?
appearance fees?
Wait, you're getting what?
My appearance fees.
Appearance fees. You haven't appeared. We don't.
Oh, by the way,
physically
if
see
anyone
you.
wants to check me out, I will be going to MCM London. So just catch me there.
Yeah, he gets his own booth.
It's just his own cardboard box panel.
Yeah, you go to the con and it's literally just a cardboard box with like breadcrumbs on it, and he's just wandered off because he got bored.
I smell bread somewhere off in the cons.
It's London, not France. There's no baguettes.
I'm sure if I look hard enough, I'll find a baguette.
You make me
might find
hard
a
enough. I
a
know.
really shitty Pret a Manger. Pay £7 for a sandwich.
I don't know. He's a raccoon. He
forget
could
to steal
probably
it.
just sneak into the rubbish out back and like take all the scraps from the day before.
I don't need
Day
to.
old
They will
Italian
provide it for me.
Oh.
They shall provide me the food, or they shall be not looked on in favor.
Are you the raccoon mob now?
No, I'm the raccoon god, motherfucker.
You will not be looked upon favorite as a favorite.
Oh my god. This session's already going out the window. I love it. Well, in advance, thank you all for an amazing session. GG, I guess. Is everyone ready to play?
Yeah.
Well, my condolences. As a small recap of Session Zero's story and absolutely nothing else, we opened with a dream sequence where the majority of the party witnessed an undead king and his general have an exchange which resulted in an artifact changing hands in a dark castle full of enthralled servants. Quick shot to our heroes that were caravanning through a land called Toriel, where they discovered a great draconic skeleton and fought a small band of goblins. The party then made their way westbound, where the travelling troop were ambushed by a group of grey half-orcs. As flashes filled the sky, the orc tribe skin colour becomes a deep scarlet red, and the leader's necklace contains, somehow, an imp, who would only yell bonk. The party learned that this orc chieftain was no other than the legendary Grug. So, anyone who hasn't watched the YouTube, that is from Campaign 1, that is Dead's character. He was a warrior during the events that preceded the disappearance of magic. Magic had returned as if raining down from a giant glowing tear in the sky. No one in the party had any clue of what is going on, as they all failed their checks, but ultimately decided to head to the nearest town that they had already been bound towards. They reach Dakli Nowith, where they are greeted by none other than the revered eccentric author Fizban, who has claimed there is a responsibility he must thrust upon them. We closed up the session literally with him saying more or less those exact words. So he's going to go on to start explaining that there is some immortal undead king, and he's looking at all of you with like eyes full of pride as if he's done this before. He states that this undead king has discovered an ancient artifact. It is called the Tearing Blade. The blade tears through reality itself, connecting realms through doorways, where the king is currently seeking out some sort of prize that is unbeknownst to the celestial realm. Fizban openly admits this campaign that he is of celestial descent, and he is essentially doomed to walk the earth with the mortals. And that is where our party are given a choice to accept said responsibility of sort of hunting down this king, seeing what the fuck's going on. But he's purposely like not giving all the information without even a check. You can see he's like smiling half the time. He's very like eccentric in his delivery of this. I'm not gonna act it out because I can't be asked. This is the opening of the session. Is there anything you guys would like to say to him or ask him? Anything at all?
Salem's just gotta ask why we're being asked to do this and not like an angel.
He holds up a small monocle, puts it up to his eye, and just looks at each one of you and goes, "You just all look really familiar. I'm a good judge of character. I can see that you're fit for this."
All right. What's the reward?
Well, you'll go down as legends. You may or may not have heard of the previous group who this undead king was once a part of. Quad Maverick, they have gone down as legends as far as I know in this realm. The past 50 years wandering without magic, it was a direct cause of their actions. But there was a mistake made, and ultimately we need to find out why magic ceased and how, if there is a way to reverse it. Because this, and he points up to the great crack in the sky with light pouring out, this is only a temporary portal, you see, and if we don't act on this, with this evidence that we can bring magic back, then all these new powers that you have found after years of studying and inherited abilities points at Saturn and says, and even some other realms may lose these powers if this goes unchecked. Ultimately, you're doing this so the world can regrow and rebuild using this magic.
Okay. Well, I've always been obsessed with magic, and the fact that I can now use it is a boon to me. So, count me in, I suppose.
He sort of gives a knowing nod as if he already knew what the answer would be. Looks to the rest of the party.
Just nodding along, really.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually stood away from this conversation because I thought I was in trouble. I will
Didn't
now.
hear a single fucking word.
I'm not there either.
I was eavesdropping. I'll now slide in at the mention of becoming a legend. That has definitely pricked my ears.
Mm-hmm. Ricky Martin is in fact asleep in the bakery at the moment, which is at the back of the building you're all in.
It's fine. We'll just bring him with us. We won't explain anything.
He's like the family pet.
Yeah, he doesn't need to know anything. He'll just come along.
We are fighting God, and he just asked, "Hey, why are we here?"
This guy has bread. Kill him.
Yeah, he points to each and every one of you in the party, leaving out Ricky Martin as if he doesn't even realize he's not just a raccoon. Like, he doesn't realize that this is a great, powerful druid. And he says, so is there anyone here who refuses the challenge?
I say, why not?
Why not refuse it?
Why not refuse this? I'm going home. He says, okay, well, first thing on the agenda is the previous heroes I mentioned, this Quad Maverick. I'm going to need all of you to track down the surviving members one by one. They're quite fast bred. I have these, and he pulls out these sort of dark orbs from inside his robe that appear to be too big to even fit in there. You imagine he's got maybe a bag of holding or something in there, which you had only heard of in legend. None of you will have, or like have one yourself, or you probably would never have actually seen one in work. He hands each one of you one of these orbs, and he says, when we are done with this little brief, I need you to drop these at your feet, and you will be transported to your first point of call. While I go and figure out what's going on with your transport. And he gives a little smile, and as he's handing these orbs out, he's like, "Oh, actually, Fabienne, you already have yours."
I do.
You do indeed. You find it is in your pack. And he says, well, going forward, there will be difficult battles. You may even have to achieve more than the legends of the original group. You're going to need allies who have experienced such adventures. So not only are you looking for this group, but you were looking for some of their allies as well. We're going to need to amass a sort of army, if you will. As this undead king, once we reach where he resides, will have an army of his own. And we will probably have a large battle on our hands. So the first target for the party is actually, and he points at Francois the pig and says, your boss. I need you to go up to the Celestial Plane and find Nithrali for me. And Francois just nods as if he already knows this was a sworn duty of his. Fabienne, you get the impression that this pig was sent with you to assist specifically in this adventure. You know Fizban has been known in the past to guide people on paths, twist their fates to achieve what he sees as necessary. Fizzbang gives a wave and says, so the little Porcus knows his mission. We're going to wait for his return, and as he's saying this, a portal opens behind Francois. He waves, says, au revoir, mon ami, to Fabienne, and just zips through without another word. Meanwhile, Fabienne, do you have the correct number of orbs? I need you to check. There may be one extra or one missing, and just give me a perception check for that.
Oh. Nat 20, 22.
Okay, you absolutely have one more than you are required to have, as far as you know. Do you choose to share this information? What is the answer you give?
Yes, I will.
You will share, okay. He says, okay, well, the first one you, and he points at the whole party, are going to go and discuss with. You're going to give this one to that person. You're going somewhere to meet someone familiar. I know you may have conversed with them during the Avernus and Celestial Plane tie-over events that you have, you know, these wild parties since 50 years ago when the Third Circle became a lot more homely. You're off to see your good friend Nox Spira, if you will.
Yay!
And without further ado, you're simply going to be transported to exactly where you need to be, and your job is to essentially see if Nox Spira is ready and willing to join our cause. And as he's now walking towards the door of the tavern that you're all in, he's just, good luck, have fun. He just wanders off. So each of you now has a black orb. You notice there's like a red, almost fiery glint as you look into it, like cinders burning. It's almost like you're looking into the area that this orb is meant to take you to. You are definitely going to end up in hell if you drop this to your feet. What do you do?
Salem looks at the orb, kind of mutters to themselves, this is not how I imagine going to hell, and just drops it at their feet.
Wonderful. I'm going to stay with the tavern while everyone is dropping it. I'm not going to give you any information until everyone has decided what their next move is.
I think Saturn would follow behind.
Yes.
Yes, dropping it. But that, with her hair and stuff, how does this work? She's purely water.
as
She
the
going to
water
collapse?
the water that like runs through your body and your hair and everything, it does come from another realm. So it's not
Okay.
like mortal realm water. It's, you know, there's a certain radiance about it. It may seem unaffected by hell,
So I'm not.
but you
going
don't
to
know
melt.
until you get there.
Oh.
So
Oh.
everyone else in the
Oh my
tavern,
God.
we're just waiting on you.
I will nominate to grab our fairy friend that I believe is in a gluten-based coma out back.
That is a good plan.
Perfect. I was wondering if anyone would remember.
Can't leave the god of bread behind.
Yeah, you're taking
Might
an
need to.
angel and a god into hell. How do you feel?
I mean, we're going to be unstoppable. So yeah, I would like to just grab Ricky Martin, explain nothing, say we're going on an adventure, and
Just
drop
stuff
my
an
orb.
orb into his hand as he's waking up, so he like drops it and has no choice.
Basically, yeah.
I'm gonna imagine that's exactly what happens. Ricky Martin, you have no idea what the fuck's going on. This what looks like a psychic's mystical orb has just been shoved into your hands. You haven't had the time to like grip onto it, so it's just fallen. And the next thing you know, the world around you is like fading into smoke. Everyone
I
who's dropped
reach for
their
the
orb
bread.
so far is also doing that. You reach for the bread? Okay, yeah. As Talzin has raised you up into the air, you probably won't reach any. Unless you're grabbing it as, like, you're going up, I guess.
I'm trying, like, if he picked me up with force, I imagine the first thing I would have done is reach for the bread.
I'm gonna
I was like,
imagine
something-
that you're so like obsessed with bread that you were already like cradling a piece while sleeping, like a baby with a doll or something. Like you're just holding on to it.
Yes.
So as you shove this orb into your hands, you're like holding it arm to chest. You know. Was there anyone else? I think Fabienne, I didn't hear your.
Fabienne is very nervous. She doesn't really see herself in the hells.
Yeah,
So
so
she's
actually going to
gonna
hell
be-
would probably scare the shit out of Fabienne.
Yeah,
But
yeah. She's thinking, how will this affect?
you
her
have been
going
told
back?
that it's an old friend of yours, and there have been soirees between the Third Circle and the Celestial Plane. These are familiar people you will see in hell. And they are a more positive, like, this is not a stereotypical hell for like IRL stuff. This isn't like where souls go to be tortured. This is more just a final resting place for people who have made contracts for power and that sort of thing. So you imagine there's going to be warlocks,
Yeah.
goblins, and that sort of thing there. A few dodgy
She's gonna-
creatures, but ultimately the people
gonna
in charge
take
are
a-
good.
Take a deep breath, mutter some celestial things, and drop the orb.
So literally mutters in French and then just plop. Okay, so as
Yeah.
this, yeah, I think that's everyone now. Yes, okay. As all of you have dropped these orbs at different times, but all of you witness the same thing. It's this black, grey, and red sort of smoke swirling around you as if caught in a tornado or a whirlwind or something of the sort. And as it dissipates and fades, you're in a grand banquet hall.
With the bread.
There is bread, yes. The table of this banquet hall, this very long hall where you imagine someone quite important would reside and great feasts would be had after battles and that sort of thing. Fabienne, you instantly know you are in the Third Circle of Hell. This is the lair of formerly Mammon, but was overthrown by one Baal. So, Ricky Martin, you are overcome with the sense that this bread is the best you'll ever taste. You have an overwhelming desire to eat all of it. And if you
Yum,
do
yum.
so, the moment you finish a piece of bread, it's like it regrows, like it reappears in front of you. Like this is
I'm just-
self-sustaining banquet hall of food. It's very akin to the Vikings Valhalla sort of vibes where they just feast like eternally in between battles.
I'm gonna turn to Taliesin, who I know woke me up and brought me here. I'm just gonna turn to him with tears in my eyes and go, "Brought me to heaven." As I'm stuffing my face with more bread.
Yeah, he's brought you to your rightful place as bread god. Can I get a perception roll from everyone? Ricky, you give it to me with disadvantage because you're distracted by bread.
Got the
Aye.
10.
At a 10.
Beautiful.
7
18.
for Ricky.
Is that 17?
I think
that was
someone
8.
else got an 18.
Yeah, I was 18 for
Okay.
Taliesin.
And I got
Gotcha.
a 7.
I got
And
Seven.
Ricky,
Okay.
Ricky
All right.
Martin also got 7.
Those below a 10. You're definitely in a banquet hall. There is a lot of food. And as you're watching this raccoon dive in and eat all this bread and watching it sort of grow back, essentially, like being replaced as it's taken, you just think maybe this is like a pit stop in your adventure. Like maybe you're being given a chance to stock up and, you know, you can start helping yourself to this food, fill your bags, whatever you want. Anyone who got over a 10 noticed there's 2 figures at the end of the table. One very large figure and one slim horned creature. Anyone with above a 15 will know that this is a very goat-like demon, the very large one. Those with a history of the Hells or a more educated background would know that this is Baal, the leader of the Third Circle of Hell. and stood beside him is a tiefling named Noxbyra. Clad all in general armor, so like the black metal with the horns and all the cool spikes and shit. 2 daggers by her sides, no other weapons. And they're sort of just watching you as your unaware party members are just kind of helping themselves. No expression, they're just watching away, just allowing it. You get the idea that they just don't care. What would you like to do? I think Taliesin, you're probably the only one who actually has 100% past the perception.
Okay.
And Fabienne, your history with these characters means you would already know who they are. So the 2 of you know exactly what's going on at the end of that table. They're just chilling.
I feel like I'd make a very over-the-top bow and thank our hosts for the banquet in front of us.
Yes.
I'm just going to turn to him and just go, I know I said I'm a god, but you know I'm not right. No, I'm responding to Taliesin.
Oh.
Assuming he's talking to me.
Amazing. Even better. Fabienne, would you like to do anything?
Yes, I think I will go and approach Nox and Bale.
Yeah, absolutely. As you do approach, you get closer. Taliesin first. Bale is sort of looking between all of you, and as you do this bow, he sort of looks a little confused. Like, the living don't usually recognize him, and he's quite taken aback by this. But he respects it. He seems to enjoy it. Sort of small smirk falls on his face before he collects himself again. Fabienne, as you walk closer up, he sort of gives a knowing nod of respect and sort of has a hearty chuckle before he stands up, towering I think we, in the previous campaign, said he would have been about 9 foot tall. Unless that was Mammon and I've forgotten. But ultimately, if he wasn't 9 foot tall, the hellish magic and the respect he has garnered has made him grow in stature. But no, he towers over you. But yeah, he's he's got like the skull of a goat is his face, with like hair coming out of the bottom of it, like hanging onto like rotted flesh, similar to how you imagine someone named Orcus would look, but a little more alive. His eyes are literally tiny balls of fire burning away. You do feel a sort of daunting feeling of the area, but the familiar company puts you at ease. You and Nox have actually fought side by side in battle. You know her well. Bale has also joined you in battle, and not as close as he would have fought with Nithrali instead. But ultimately, there have been things on Earth that the 2 opposing sides, or what would usually be opposing sides, would have had to come together to bring peace to. So yeah, you're just seeing an old friend. So Nox has sort of smiled, waved. In fact, as this is your character, is there anything you feel Nox would do?
I just feel like they'd have like a really nice greeting, reminisce about the battle.
Sort of cordial greet, yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably been about 20 years since you last saw each other.
Good God.
Another thing is, Nox doesn't seem aged, like she has always been in her young 20s. As would be the same for you.
Like, oh my God, you've changed so much. It's like...
Yeah, these are literally your 2 characters. You're charged with bringing them the question. You're here to ask Nox, Will you correct the wrongs that were done by your previous party, or at least members of? What would you like to say? Perfect. Just to spur things along a little bit, Bale is sort of like, he's looking like he expects you to say something, and Nox is just like nodding, like, yeah, is this just something you'd like to say? Like, what brings you here? Sort of addressing everyone, but mostly focused on Fabian, as there's the familiarity between them. Have you forgotten the whole point of the adventure already? The whole party, no one said anything.
Eating, man.
Literally just spoke to some celestial guy. He said go to hell, ask Nox if they'd be willing to join you guys. You get there and you're all just blown away by the fact you're actually in hell. You're like, holy shit, what do we say? Just nervous as hell.
My character is apparently focused on the banquet for some reason. So.
Yeah. Everyone is just distracted. The only two that are actually there, like, able to speak to these two hellish residents, Taliesin and Fabian, actually.
I feel like I'd just be like awkwardly side-eyeing Fabienne right now, being like, don't make us look uncool. In front of the hell people.
The hell people.
What you're unaware of is that you've actually said that out loud. And they both just looking at you, like Bale's like former look of respect turns to confusion, and he's just kind of like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I know this one, but who the fuck are you?
Oh dear, did I say that out loud?
He nods, just a stone look on his face, like he is expressionless at this point.
Taliesin Clenarian, lovely to make your acquaintance. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
As he is already stood up and sort of in greeting of the two of you, he takes one step towards you, crouches down to your level, and just says, are you here to test your mettle?
Well,
No medal to be found.
Akin to my earlier swordsman skills in the last session, I'd say that's probably not the best idea.
He looks confused at his, what is your purpose? And he takes a step back, then back to where he was, sits on his throne again. You know, he's greeted you in a very confused manner. And he's just going to wait for the two of you to say why you're there.
So, being very aware that I am now a mortal in the Hell Realm, I'm going to stand behind Fabienne and say, she has something she'd like to ask you.
She's going to be looking around like, don't put this on me. I'm an angel in hell.
He sort of raises a hand to, like, calm you a bit, and he's just, you know, you're fine here. You haven't been doomed here. You are here by choice, I presume. Who sent you?
We've been sent by the one and only Fizban. And he has requested us to ask for your help. Again.
My help? As Bale is like, what can I do?
He wants to recruit Nox and her old friends. Once again.
You see a smile through the helmet, the T-shaped sort of visor area of the helmet that Nox is wearing. And she kind of just starts like almost vibrating with excitement. It's like 50 years I've been waiting for this. She's just sort of waiting for permission to speak almost from Bale, and he raises a hand to say, like, go ahead. And she says, so how is Fizzy?
I mean, he's ever the strange. I don't even know what he is. But he seemed to have fond memories of you and your old group.
Well, yeah, we, saved the world. No biggie. Been fighting in hell ever since, kind of excited for the opportunity to go back and work with a group like yourself again. And Bale sort of interjects with, there is one thing you must do before Nox can go with you.
Always a bloody catch.
Always, every time. It's almost like these stories are written by someone who wants to make you work for it. Says Bale, convincing. He says, no, since magic has come back to the mortal realm, there's been sort of a great influx of unfortunate people who have lost their lives in interesting situations. Reception and the city of, the Baleborns are kind of jam-packed. Could you go down there and kill a few for me? The receptionist will tell you exactly what to look out for, and it's just the moment you kill them, they'll be sent to a different circle of hell, and they're all pretty open, because this is the hell of battle, we fight proudly here. All of these people died in, again, very interesting ways. Most of them were killed by accidental fireballs, or didn't realize they were actually uttering teleportation spells and don't even belong here in the first place. It's just a lot for us to keep up on. And you get the idea now that Bale is talking to you in a very CEO business kind of way. Like, he's not this rough beast that you see in front of you. He seems almost a bit relaxed, but stressed by the non-physical fight of his job. Like, there's too much behind the scenes for him to enjoy, so he's just going to make you do it. And that is his term for Nox helping the newly formed Maverick.
Oh.
Has the rest of the party noticed yet, by the way?
By now you would have heard like the big booming voice of Bale. He has a very low, very rough sort of, beefy voice. So yeah, everyone except Ricky. No, you probably would have noticed by now. You have a cute sense of hearing, so you would have figured out that a conversation is going on between two Hellspawn and the rest of your friends. I want to throw a piece of
bread at him, and then point at Salem when he looks at me, and try and blame it on Salem.
Roll deception.
Do you say deception?
Yeah. You're passing the blame onto someone else.
14.
He knows it was you. He sort of points back at you and then just does like a tut-tut sort of finger wag. Clicks his fingers and just the end of your tail seems to catch fire. You don't take any damage, but it is like a sudden jump. Do you have a reaction?
I did scream, but the freaking
the noise gate is too powerful. Yeah. Sound works differently in hell. That's what it is.
Yes.
But nah, just as soon as you react to it, it does disappear, and he just sort of stern look at you. But he's like, so, what say the rest of you? And please, and he points at Taliesin, control your pet.
I apologize about him, but please, you have to teach me how to do that.
I am the god of bread. How dare you?
Bale pulls two of his fingers together and you lose the ability to speak.
You have to teach me how to do that too.
He looks deep into Taliesin's eyes, gets real close, like uncomfortably
lovingly?
Close. Not quite lovingly, like he's assessing you, like he's looking for something. He says, well, there is a spark in your eyes. Then he just sort of trails off. But that's not my place. That's up to them. And then he releases the spell on Ricky Martin for a moment, just to see what he does. So you can now speak. And chooses.
I'm just gonna look him dead in the eyes. And just go. You win this one. Surprise bread attack! And then I'm going to throw another piece of bread at him.
Can you roll dexterity for me? I'm absolutely playing into this.
Just straight dexterity?
Yeah, just like a dexterity with your modifier.
Okay. That's a 7.
Okay, he only rolled a 5. He tries to, he outstretches an arm to try and catch the bread, but it's the wrong side and it hits him square in the chest, and he just looks down.
Wait. With the distraction, I want to hide underneath the table.
Okay, he crouches down to pick up the bread, gets ready to throw it back at you. And are you still in eye shot of him? Can you see what he's doing?
I would like him to imagine that he's so tall I can see his feet.
Okay,
But that's
so
about it.
you don't see this, but the rest of the party sees the piece of bread turn into just a smoking black rock. You imagine this is probably very hot, and he's just looking around, unseeing Ricky Martin,
While
then
I'm under the
crushes
table,
it into dust and just.
I would
gives
like to
up.
cast Pass Without Trace.
He couldn't see you. He's completely unaware. You are too swift. Your dexterity beat him, so I'm just giving it to you. No need for the spell.
Okay.
But yeah, he's waiting for
underneath
an
the
answer.
table.
What was that? Did you say you look underneath the table?
No, I point underneath the table.
Oh, okay. He's already crushed the
from the
rock
other
in his
man?
hand. He's sort of. Are you gonna help or not? And he's looking out at you all, getting frustrated now. He's not a very patient man.
So we have to commit genocide upon your city?
Yeah, but it's okay. They won't actually die. You're just sending them to another part of hell or back to their original realm upon death.
But
So it's
won't they
all
die in
for a good
battle?
cause?
Some of them might once again die in battle. Yeah, but there's just too many. And he pulls out a scroll, lets it drop, and it rolls all the way through the banquet hall, out the front door, and he's like, so there's this one, and he's counting creatures off the list. And every time he points, you get the impression that this might take a while if you do this by legitimate means.
Is there any way we can't kill people?
There's physically no space. We're running out. We need to send some of these back to where they should be.
Okay.
Sending the misfits to kill the misfits.
Exactly. And he sort of hands off to you.
What happens if we die down there?
You'll be sent back here,
Oh, sweet, a respawn.
if you will.
Not that I would know what one of those is.
What are you talking about, man?
The future, man. You're not ready.
Although you are in your physical bodies, these are not spirits. I see in front of me. So I can't guarantee this respawn. And he's putting quotations in the air as he says this.
Well, is there anything that you can give us to aid us on such a massive cull of wandering spirits?
Some of the newcomers may be more than willing to help. There was a few very small green creatures in particular that recently perished to a group in Toriel. You could probably convince them to give you a hand. I heard they were pretty strong and fought ferociously against their attackers.
I think I threw
Fabian
two
looks
of those
mortified.
into the lava blood. Jesus. Probably fucking hate.
That sounds like a great idea.
Right.
Sort of thumbs up. And so,
Yeah.
so it's a yes.
I will agree, but may I ask, do you have any? Do these souls eat or drink?
They don't need to, but sometimes they like to. They kind of like to stick into their regular schedules. A lot of them are hunter-gatherers up on the mortal plane, so they tend to try and sort of reenact their miserable lives down here.
is there a city water supply?
You are in hell.
Does that does that make it impossible for water to exist?
It's good.
Because then I need to
He
check my
realizes
fucking-
what you're asking, and he looks at Saturn and is like, usually. But Saturn, as you would have noticed at the moment you arrived here and figured out it was hell, nothing is affecting the water that runs through you and your connection to it.
All right, that's my plan out the window. You guys can discuss how we do this.
Were you gonna
Salem
drain them all?
No, I was gonna poison the water supply.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, you get the idea that the only inhabitants of this realm are the overflow of souls and I'm going to call them staff, because that's the idea you get from these people.
Salem just kind of sits down in one of the chairs and just just kind of starts thinking.
I have
Are
a
there chairs in
cunning
the second
plan.
wall?
Bale's ears perk up at the cunning plan, and he's sort of like,
Well, we have a celestial in our party.
Bonjour.
Perhaps with our unfortunately deceased goblin friends that had absolutely nothing to do with us, we could have them join our cause in exchange for a trip to heaven or simply a better place. Basically, what I'm saying is we use Fabienne to convince the goblins that the next place they're going to is actually heaven, even though it's just going to be another circle of hell.
I
Bale
have
sort
to
of
lie to
nods, smiling, and is like, well, I don't think the angel will approve, but I could. And he pulls his fingers together one more time, and Fabian's mouth disappears from their face. You could speak on her behalf, and then he releases the spell again, or you could convince the angel to lie to a bunch of damned souls that don't belong in hell.
I mean, it sounds like a great way to get, many, many people willingly to leave rather than kill them all ourselves.
Can Ricky from under the table just go, or, some big bad guy could just go down and do his own dirty work?
Burrowing his brow, he looks down towards the table and just says, or if you want what you came here for, you could do as you're told.
I don't even know why I'm here! I thought I was here for the bread!
He's looking around at, like, everyone else in the party, just like, why did you bring him?
Because,
Kinda
good
shrug.
sir, I am the bread god. Ha!
I detect no divine energy from you.
False. I detect no divine energy from you.
I'm a demon. I'm not divine.
Exactly. See?
What you would detect from me, and he holds one of his hands out, conjuring a great ball of fire in his hand, he says, is infernal energy. And he just holds it close to the bottom of the table. And what I can do with this energy is make you stop existing.
I smell empty threats.
I smell boiled raccoon.
Allison, protect me.
Talison's managed to find just a basket of popcorn on the table and is just watching, waiting.
As you pick up this basket of popcorn, you actually notice that the popcorn has like melted away, and there is actually meat that you can only assume is raccoon in a soup.
Ricky, my friend, I think you should listen. This raccoon's seriously squaring off with a demon.
Right? An
Even
actual
Lord
devil.
at that.
Yeah, a lord of hell. In front of his general, too. Who is the person you're trying to technically employ? I love
just like
how
to imagine-
derailed you get.
I do just fully think that Ricky Martin thinks he's in some kind of weird, fucked up fever dream.
Yeah, like a bread nightmare, like cheese nightmares and shit.
Like, he has been woken up from a peaceful slumber, given the most divine bread ever, and then told he needs to kill a bunch of people,
Hmm.
which is like completely against everything he stands for. This sounds like a bread nightmare. Didn't believe this for a second. I am in control down here, demon boy.
He sort of starts to shrug you off a bit and just please put a leash on it or something. Anyway, you have my guarantee that no innocents will actually be harmed. Anyone innocent will be judged correctly now, as the receptionists and the other staff in this fine establishment have got their shit together the past few cycles. So it's up to you. You do this for me. You get the strength of Nox, my first general, behind you during whatever great adventure you might be on that Fizban has sent you towards. Or you can refuse and go home empty-handed.
Salem just kind of stares and, suppose that we're fucked either way, so let's just see what we can do.
He smiles, just
I'm-
says, "That's the spirit." Clicks his fingers, and before you get the chance to do anything else, you find yourself apparating into a sort of central room. There is a lone desk in the middle with a tiefling woman sat behind it, and there's just 4 portals behind her, like sort of either side. She looks up and just says, "How can I help? Visit in or work?" This is all
I
of
feel
you,
like-
by the way. You're all there.
I feel like Taliesin would put his hand up and just be like, "Well, what about pleasure?"
She
I'm gonna
points
start hitting him with
she
a
points
baguette.
to a deep red portal to your right.
Gonna
That's
peer
the
into
Hell for
portal.
Lust. That seems to be where you belong.
Is anyone going to stop me?
I'm not.
I'm gonna climb on his back and just go with him. but I'm not stopping
Because you're
him.
lustful bread and you know.
Can I inspect the portal?
You can indeed. Yeah, roll investigation.
Investigation.
While you're investigating, Ricky is just gonna be whispering in your ear. Why didn't you protect me? I thought we were friends.
It's a literal, a literal hellspawn.
And I'm
I
a
also got
literal
16.
bread god.
A 16, you said.
Yes.
Okay, so as you inspect this portal, what you do know about the Hells is that during the circle selection process, as they have now dubbed it, these portals are one-way doors.
Ah,
So if you choose to go into where people are punished for their lust, you will not be able to return.
I will sigh heavily and say, "One day my time will come," and step away from the portal.
Well, if you belong there, I'm sure you've done enough come in for eternity.
Back to the matter at hand.
She points to a green portal and says, "Right, I just got word it's that one, and it's just the only green portal to your left side, closest to you."
You take a phone call or something? No, you got word?
There's
From
like
what?
you see on the desk, all she actually has is like a piece of parchment that is constantly like the words on it are like disappearing, and then like there's new words reappearing as if she's receiving instruction.
Can I go up and investigate this parchment?
You can indeed. Roll investigation. And what languages do you speak?
Common, Druidic, Elvish, and Goblin. I don't know why Goblin's in there, but it is.
Yeah, for funsies. Fuck it.
I got a 13.
Okay, there's definitely words. They definitely appear and disappear. It could be magic. It could be that there's an invisible person writing on a piece of paper and rubbing it out. You have no fucking clue.
Is there a quill or a pen or anything to write back?
No, not on the table.
Is there anything anywhere?
If you have a quill and ink in your backpack, you could definitely search that. But this is an empty, like, brimstone sort of room with 4 portals, a desk, a piece of paper on it, and a tiefling.
Okay, I'm gonna run back to Talison's backpack and just search through his backpack for quill and ink.
Smart. The bard is the most likely to have ink and parchment, as he writes songs. If Taliesin lets you into his backpack, then you would definitely find something.
I'll let him.
Mm-hmm. So you do indeed find a sealed jar of ink and a quill.
Okay, I'm then gonna scurry. At this point, is she actually stopping me?
No,
Not just running back and forth.
she's just allowing it. She doesn't seem to pay you any attention. She only speaks when spoken to.
I am gonna run back to the parchment. Right, you are stinky, ha 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 ha, and then just jump through the portal on the green one.
Okay, so as you finish writing it, there's a searing sensation in your forearm, the one you wrote with. And as you pass through this portal, before you even notice any of your surroundings, you look down at your arm and it just says, "You stinky, ha ha ha," in whatever language you wrote it in.
Druidic, I imagine.
Gotcha. Anyone else?
Salem just kind of face palms, mutters to themselves about who they're locked up on this quest with, and follows into the portal.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I will follow.
I will also follow.
Right, everyone who does follow, which I can only assume is everyone, because the only other option is to literally trap yourself in a circle of hell for eternity. You quickly get an idea of what kind of creatures are here when you greeted on the other side of this portal by 2 very large demons, who sort of both in unison just point to what appears to be a city glowing in neon colors. And there's nothing but goblins and wargs just running around in an eternal battle with each other. They're all cheering, drinking from what appear to be mugs of their own piss. They all appear to have lost any sanity they would have had remaining, except for one lone goblin who is just on the outskirts towards where you've arrived, who doesn't notice you there. He's just sort of sat on the edge of a wall, just kicking his little feet away, just sort of humming, vibing along. You get the idea that he was very young when he may have passed. The easiest way to describe what this place looks like is the buildings themselves look like casinos, taverns, brothels, that sort of thing. Imagine Vegas, essentially.
Magic Vegas.
Welcome to Vegas. Yeah.
Viva Las Vegas.
Exactly.
Can I roll a perception check maybe to see if this is in fact the goblin we killed?
You
One of
can
the
indeed.
goblins.
Yeah.
I will try to see that then. Great. I got a 5.
Okay, the goblin is facing the other way. You see no like facial giveaways. Like there's no like visual thing that you can put akin to him. He just looks like a goblin.
I'd also like to roll perception.
Go for it. Anyone who would like to, you are all aware that the goblins from Toriel that you originally fought in Session 0 are here, or at least 1 or 2 of them will be. You can absolutely all do a perception check to see if you recognize any of them.
15.
Okay, 15. You absolutely recognize the goblin sat on the wall as the one you didn't kill. The one that was pushed into the thick dragon blood by his friend or family member. You were unsure. You didn't ask them for information. As you sort of like get round to see his face, he does like catch you at the corner of his eye, and he sort of jumps a bit, like a little concerned, and then he looks over. Oh, hello, friends. Remember me? You watched me die in Ancient Dragonblood. Boggy pushed me in. My name's Trollop. Nice to see you again. Sorry you died. Seemed nice enough.
Can I wave at Salem and be like, Salem, look, it's our friend from work.
Sailor just kind of stares and just looks around if there's coincidentally any more red dragon blood around. Just hoping and obviously not finding any. Just waves at the goblin and just kind of mutters something to himself that's really not legible, but it seems kind of hateful, to be honest.
I will confirm that this is the goblin you did not kill. He's sort of just he's just smiling, very dopey. He's got one thumb up, but like close to his chest. He's looking around, sort of looking behind him, because the last time he saw you, he got pushed into dragon blood that killed him, and he's sort of panicked, but ultimately seems really happy to see you. Like he seems more than willing to talk to you. He hasn't moved from his spot on the wall though, as chaos reigns around you.
Suppose this
Can
is
we
a
walk
good.
over without getting into chaos?
What were you going to say, Talsa?
I was going to say, like, this would be a good time to debate on murder plan or slight conviction. Was it slightly convincing them that they're going to quote unquote heaven?
I think we could convince this guy. I don't think we need to use violence with.
That's the spirit.
While they're all talking about this,
Yep.
Ricky is going to revert to like pure raccoon. Just start chittering to him in raccoon, and then like come rub up against his leg.
Oh, he's a little nice fella, and he gives you scratches behind the ear, which really hurts. He doesn't know his own strength. You get the idea that he doesn't mean harm, though. Oh, he's nice. He scratches even harder and more intensely until it starts to actually scratch the skin from behind your ear.
I'm gonna walk away as soon as it starts to really hurt.
Come back, puppy! Oh. Anyway, well, what did you lot do to come here? Did you die in battle like us?
Not
We're on a mission from God.
Really? He notices Fabienne. Oh yeah, you were with an angel the whole time. You must be really busy. Oh, first Toril, now Vernus? I don't know which one this is. Number 3, I think. The fighting one. You've been everywhere.
Salem just kind of looks him in the eyes. So, buddy, we do have something you could help us in our holy quest with, if you'd be interested.
Oh, I'd love to help. You seem lovely.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the compliment. We need you to kill as many people as you can.
Okay. And he just trots off and starts killing people.
I'm not sure if my conscience feels better or worse about this decision.
Something something you didn't realize before is that he was actually almost transparent, like he didn't belong here. Like it was like he was being like attempted to be dragged somewhere else. You get the idea, Fabian, that maybe this was not his final resting place.
Sacre bleu.
And the goblins that he does kill are all like solid of color, and there's no transparency to them whatsoever. Anytime he kills one, another one runs out from behind you, cheering as if they are going back into a battle. And can I get a perception check from all of you?
$12.
Gotcha.
I also got a 12.
Did everyone
So-
get 12?
No, I got a 60.
No, I got half.
Oh my god.
Right, okay, so we got 1 6, 2 12s, and a 16, right? So far.
Ooh, I got a 21.
Ooh, okay. So 16 and above, you notice as this little goblin Trollop, as he so happily told you, as he's running around killing goblins, and they're coming back from behind you as if they're going through the same portal like seconds later, you notice he's getting more and more less and less transparent is the best way to put this. Like he's slowly earning his place here.
Is that a good or bad?
It's up to you to decipher.
Caleb just kind of stares and just kind of holds the bridge of their nose and just calls out, "Hey, buddy, can you come back here real quick?"
3 goblins go, okay, and they all run at you. He
I'm
is
in
one of them.
Trollop. You guys can continue.
All 3 of them are named Trollop, and they all just sort of look very excited, like, we've been noticed.
Oh, for fuck's sake. He just all 3 of them are named Trollop. Jesus Christ. Okay. Salem just kind of stares at them for a moment and just looks if any of them are transparent at all.
One of them is.
Besides the original Trollop.
The original one still has some transparency to him, like he could be saved from whatever hell you're damning him to. And one of the other ones does look also a little transparent too. You
I
imagine
point to
they've
those.
been trying to kill the other goblins, but just haven't been very good at it.
I point to those 2 and say, "You 2 can stay. The other 2 can continue fighting."
One of them, with the most stern look on his face, just says, "But I was born for this. If I can't fight them, I'll have to fight myself." And he stabs himself in the heart, falling down to the ground and then vanishing, and nothing runs out from behind you.
What happened to him?
The
He is
original
dead.
Trollop. The original Trollop looks down to where he was. There's just the dagger left behind, and he goes, "Magic dagger!" Picks it up, stabs himself in the heart. The dagger drops.
Trollop,
Trollop has
no!
disappeared.
No!
It's fun.
Well, that was
Thank you, dagger on the
anticlimactic.
floor.
Salem just kind of turns to the angel in our group and says, "Okay, this is gonna be hard for you to swallow, but I'm gonna need you to convince as many goblins as possible that it is their holy quest to kill themselves."
Oh my god.
Some goblins that overhear you go, "What? Holy quest? Kill ourselves?"
Yeah, just whoever kills themselves faster gets into a higher place in heaven.
Higher place in heaven. I thought this was hell. You hear like over the top of like different voices. They're just like, "But we're not in heaven." One of them even says,
Yeah, you're-
"What's heaven?"
you're going to heaven once you complete this. There's even more fighting in heaven. You just need to kill yourself first.
Several of the goblins, without asking a single question, will just kill themselves, like cut their own throats. Some of them will like try and kill their friends because they think they're sending them to heaven. You know, this is the most Monty Python bullshit I've ever written into a story. I've just realized the fucking Life of Brian, the squad at the end. No, some of them are killing each other, some of them kill themselves. Any that were already solid will come back through, but you get the idea that not all of them need to be reallocated anyway. So you are sort of slowly convincing them either to banish themselves to hell from their misunderstanding of the point you're trying to make, or you're actually sending them to the celestial plane for eternal rest, where they will live literally their dreams. Their wildest dreams will come true for them.
Jesus Christ.
I would like to run up to Fabian,
Mhm.
like hug, like a leg or hand if I can reach it. I don't know how tall they are.
I think
Very
I'm like
tall.
nearly 7 foot.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely leg.
Just like a flowing dress or something, like a gown that she's
Yeah.
wearing.
And just be like, I don't know how to feel about this. My quest
Nor do
was to save people, and now we need to convince them to kill themselves. But it's for a good reason.
I would like Fabienne to roll insight, please.
Oh. I have a 13.
Okay, so you have a rough understanding that the transparency is that they may not belong here. You easily will figure out, you know, that them not running back in from behind you, as you can assume that that's the same ones running back and forth, getting killed, coming back. Again, in the sort of Valhalla-esque sort of way, very Viking afterlife vibes here. The ones that were transparent that are killing themselves, they are not in a mortal realm, so it is not a sin to kill yourself in this realm. Unless you are alive. These creatures are not alive. They are lost souls, so you are essentially guiding them through violent means to where they belong. You've heard of similar things in the past with the Celestial Plane, where the opposite would have happened, where some, you know, hell-sent demonic entities would have gone up and you had to kill them to send them back or convince them that they must go back to where they belong through those same violent means.
Oh. I would like to share this information with Ricky Martin.
You're essentially just telling Ricky that this is a positive thing that you're doing. Or at least you think it is. You don't know.
I know
for
it
sure.
feels wrong, but I believe this is for the greater good. Some of them will go to the celestial plane and live out their best lives. It is as intended.
Would this make the druids happy?
Well, you people like peace, no? This will bring some of them peace, and the others their justice.
Oh. Okay.
I think it is what we have to do.
Yes. Ricky is gonna nod solemnly as a raccoon can. And then look for the nearest goblin and just say, do you have like a central area where, you know, we could speak to everyone?
He looks out over the crowds that are packing the streets, but are sort of, you know, varying in numbers now. They seem to be dropping off a bit. Like it's getting a little less dense of a population. He sort of points to the middle and goes, I guess the central would be in the central. Go to the middle.
And they would hear me all around, yes?
If you're loud enough, anyone will hear you.
Okay, this is good information. Thank you.
Okay, and then he stabs himself and disappears.
So funny.
I would like to scurry to the central area
Mhm.
that he pointed to.
Yep.
Climb up as high as I can. And then, just as loud as I can, say, Goblins! I am Ricky Martin! I am the bread god! And you have all been tasked with killing yourselves to enter the eternal realm of bread!
A hush falls the once chaotic crowd. They all stop doing what they were doing, and they're all sort of like very confused. They're all looking up at you. If we don't belong here and he looks different, does that mean he double doesn't belong here?
No! I have been sent here to save you all!
Save us from what?
You are in
You
the
and your
wrong
friends
place,
just
you
told
idiots!
Gowan to kill himself. That doesn't look like saving. You're getting us to kill ourselves. And then there's like some that are like, there's an angel with them. They know what they're talking about. What the fuck are you doing? Like, and then they start fighting again.
Yeah. Oh, that didn't work. This...
I step next to Ricky Martin, tapping on his head, and just yell, "If you kill yourself, you can fight more, even more."
They all cheer, but they're so distracted by this logic that they don't actually do it. They're just like, yeah, if we do this, it'll be forever, yeah. And they're all just cheering and like cheering you on. They don't know your name, so they're just like, that person, whoa.
Recall the name. Just a quick pause as I look over my party. Recall the name Taliesin when you come to the place you go, and kill yourself now.
One of the goblins is like, Taliesin, something placed down. That's a really long name. None of us can remember that one. Do you have a
Just kill
smaller
yourself,
name?
man.
Like Taliesin, maybe? Or
Towel.
Bollock.
Taliesin Bollock works.
In like a very split sort of 50-50 among this giant crowd of what is hundreds to thousands of goblins, wargs, all fighting it out. You hear half of them chanting Taliesin, your name. You have never felt so famed in all of your life, even though you know it's not you they're actually cheering on. And the other half is just yelling the word bollock as loud as they can.
Perfect. Now you can continue.
As they all start driving blades into themselves. And roughly half of the original number are now nowhere to be seen.
I kind of give a thumbs up to Taliesin. You're famous now.
I never thought I'd see people fighting over my bollocks. It's a dream come true. Fabienne, I feel like you need to get down there and sort this mess out.
I would like to cast light to try and get their attention.
Okay. The place lights up. They all start looking at the source of the light. It's so
Pretty
dark in
light
this
lying
area
around.
that they can't see past it. Like, this is like looking at the sun to them.
Oh. Turn it down a little bit.
Put the fader on, yeah.
Just dimming.
Where's that dimmer switch?
They're all just staring at this light, like hypnotized by it almost. The remaining ones. It would seem that all of the semi-transparent to transparent ones are all but gone. You can only really see opaque goblins and wargs now.
They have completed the quest.
To the best of your knowledge, yes, but you weren't given instruction on how you would know you succeeded or not. But you are still casting this light. You have their attention. Is there anything you would like to say?
I will just stand up and thank them for listening to us and tell them that they are in the place they're meant to be now.
But we're right
And
back
for
where we
once-
started. Why are you still here? Did you follow
You may
us?
continue fighting.
They all start cheering. They break out and they
Eternally.
just go in, Tarzan, bollocks, as they all hack at each other for the rest of eternity.
Enjoy.
As you are all engulfed by a flame that you do not feel, and you are transported back to the Great Banquet Hall, confronted with Bale and Nox once again. Nox has a very proud look on their face. Bale is like just snickering under his breath. He's trying not to laugh outwardly about what he's just witnessed you do. He sort of stands to greet you all and, well, I didn't think you would help, and he points at Ricky. But good job, everyone. You've done good. We may be a circle of hell, but we're not actually all about torture. We just put the right souls in the right place. You've left the ones that truly deserve to stay in eternal battle as they live their lives, and you've freed the ones that renounced violence or, you know, weren't aged enough to truly experience their sin. You have done a good thing. Points at Fabienne and just says, the celestial plane will likely make note of this. You don't appear to have your radiance about you. Brainy points, I guess, and he sort of gives you a small bow, one arm behind his back. Nox is sort of still there, smiling, looking very giddy. And then,
Going to do a little bow back.
yes, as Nox sort of starts to approach everyone, sort of shaking hands and like bowing at them. Just, I look forward to adventuring again. Thank you for the opportunity. I'll see you up in the mortal realm once I've gotten through the current issues that we're faced with elsewhere as well. Fizban actually sent notification of what is expected of me, and I await further contact from him to let me know when to arrive to the mortal realm. And then she opens up a sack, or what appears to be the seam of a sack. There appears to be nothing below it, but ultimately puts her hand in, hands everyone a greeny blue orb, and you can only imagine that this orb has the same use as the one that brought you here in the first place. Congratulations, you passed your first true quest. You all have an orb that you can only imagine will send you back to the tavern that you left to get to hell. It's up to you if you want to talk more to Nox and Bale, or if you would like to go, or if you'd like to go and live with the goblins in an eternal battle.
Our first
I will be-
quest involved making people kill themselves. That's okay.
I will be eager to get out of this place.
Mhm.
So I will nominate to go first. Turn to Bale and say, "Let the hells ring out the song of Talisin's bollocks," and I will drop the orb.
You see him raise one finger, and a very questioned expression on his face sort of drops as you are once again taken away by this thick, dark smoke. And you find yourself once again in the tavern. Anyone else? Is there anything you would like to say in a similar fashion, or have an entire conversation and keep Tarzan waiting? It's up to you.
It's tempting, but
Let's all go to that red circle.
Leave the bad behind. Amazing.
We had such a great time.
It would be so fucking ironic for the angelic celestial creature to be the one to say, "No, I'm staying."
Kind of like it here. It's warm.
Amazing.
I think I would take Nox's hand and say, until we meet again. Thank you for your guidance. And then I will drop the orb.
As you're dropping the orb, you see sort of a teary-eyed look on her face. It's been 20 long years since you last saw each other. She is clearly very excited to get back into adventuring and battling beside you.
Yeah.
You feel a sense of warmth, and not because you just left hell, which was literally on fire. Anyone else?
Caleb just stands up, just kind of says, I convinced the goblins that he was some kind of messenger, and they somehow managed to get the fact his name was Taliesin Bollocks from my entire message. That's what he was talking about. Just have a good day, man. And I just throw the orb on the ground.
Anyone remaining will now hear Baal just utter the words, so you convinced him he was the Messiah, but you're very naughty, and then just leaves it at that. Anyone else?
That's all.
I think everyone is. I think did Ricky do anything? I think you all just.
I think. No. I think I would grab some bread after everyone's left.
Mm-hmm.
Just look him dead in the eyes and just go, "You suck," and then leave.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and say you have enough bread now in your backpack to last you the entirety of the rest of Act 1, and one section of Act 2. I will let you know when you run out. I may need a reminder, though.
Do you think I'm going to stop collecting?
No, I don't think you're going to stop collecting. Yeah. I also think you might actually prove me wrong with how much bread you have. You may run out if you just eat it like 24/7.
Okay. But now I have help, right?
Yeah. Is that all of you back in the tavern now? You're all back at Taklai, the quote-unquote city that you originally found yourself in.
Yeah, I think so.
Right. Upon return, you immediately do take in the scenery as your vision sort of settles back in. You're back on the mortal plane. You breathe in the fresh air that no longer smells like something is on fire. But knowing there's also a bakery at the back of you, you expect to smell like fresh bread, like, you know, it's the afternoon now, most likely they're probably cooking it up, preparing it for the bread god. And you get a sort of strong smell of garlic instead. But
garlic bread.
Without any physical, like, visual or auditory pointer as to why they would be garlic, you are approached by Trin and Fabienne. You are handed a small note that reads, let me just see, Step 1, complete. Step 2, the pig bears news. Meet me back where you met the Red Barbarian. I'm long overdue a catch-up with my old friend Grug. And even in his old age, he may still be willing to support this cause.
I would like to share this note with the party.
Yes. You will also notice that it is simply signed F, which you can only assume is Fizban. As if it wasn't obvious in the first place.
Ricky is already going to have scurried off to the bakery to find out why it smells of garlic and not bread.
The closer you get to the bakery, the less you smell the garlic and you smell bread.
Okay.
It's as if, with your more keen sense of smell, you may figure that the source of the garlic, as it is such a strong smell, has been and gone already. It's not physically emanating from anywhere anymore.
Okay.
Curious.
Curious.
Garlic bread.
Garlic bread. It just so happens that I had the garlic thing written in before the bread joke started, so the garlic was always going to be here, funnily enough. But that is perfect that you have one entity of bread, one entity now of garlic. This is incredible.
Oh, God.
Vampire repellent.
Yeah, Ricky is a vampire fighter now. That's it.
Vampire hunter.
It's doesn't have wooden stakes, just has really dry baguettes.
Yeah. Chiseled, like shaped. Like they were whittled down into spikes. No, so you do smell garlic out in the main section of the tavern. Trin has handed you this letter. It says to meet back towards the Toriel Forest where the Baleborn camp was, where you met Grug. And Ricky can smell bread again, as the usual. What would you like to do?
How keen are my senses?
Incredibly. You could probably detect directional smells.
So could you say I could possibly follow the by sniffing it?
Mm-hmm. Yep. It leads directly to Trin, who seems to have a residue of whatever caused it on her right hand.
I'm going to look up her and go, why do you smell like garlic?
What's garlic?
It comes from the forest is all I know.
Oh, I've never been. Is it nice? Is it alive? Is it dead?
Smell your right hand.
She smells and goes, "Oh, the knight."
Huh?
Just leaves it at that, as you say. Oh yeah, a knight who very odd helmet. It was like a plant of some kind. Not sure what that was about. He should still be around here somewhere. I don't know. He said he was looking for someone.
Why did your right hand smell like him?
I shook his hand.
Okay. You must have shook it really well for it to stay on your hand that long. Or he really stunk.
She looks really confused. You get the idea that she actually can't smell it unless it's right in her face.
Is there any other sense of garlic that I could follow?
Yes, as you are looking for it, but I would like you to roll a perception check for me. Or investigation, whichever one you prefer.
I have the same for both, so...
Okie dokie. Everyone else, it simply smells like garlic in the room. There's nothing to roll. You just get the idea that something that smelled really strongly of garlic was here.
Oh, I only got 9.
Okay, you don't get an exact direction, but you imagine it left through the front door.
I'm going to try and follow as best as I can.
Yeah, as you walk out the front door, you do still smell sort of faint, the faint smell of it. The wind is picking it up is the issue, so there's no direction to follow. It's a very windy, summery day for some reason. It's very odd, we know. But the weather is unpredictable as the great tear in the sky is fucking with everything.
Damn. Okay. I'm going to walk back inside. You just look at the party.
Mm-hmm. What would the party like to do now?
Fully ignore the garlic because that is the most, to Salem, that is the most unimportant thing they've ever heard of. So they've ever considered, and just look at the letter and just look at the letter Fabienne's handing, kind of just like, it took like a day on something. Are we supposed to walk all the way or what? Actually, you wouldn't know.
Fabienne has never walked anywhere in her life. She has flown until reaching you guys, which was right before you found the caravan.
Wait, is the caravan still here?
No.
The gnome who was
left.
driving the caravan went west. You now need to go back east.
Damn it.
I just looked at the innkeeper and I'm like, so is there any place here that sells like mounts or anything similar?
Trin, the landlady, is just looking around like, usually people are passing through and already have their journey set. We're more of a pit stop. We didn't really see any use for that sort of thing. The only things we farm here, vegetation.
Sarah just goes, "Fuck," and just and just says to the party, "I think we're gonna have to walk this one out."
Can I ask if they're aware of the orc camp and how many days' walk it would be?
She looks very confused as to why you would willingly go and meet up with orcs, but says, the forest, I've never been there myself. We used to have parties go looking for supplies, seeds for planting for the farm, that sort of thing. It would usually take them about 6 days to go both ways.
Oh no.
So, 3 days there. Back the way we bloody came.
She sort of just looks at you dopily like she has no idea what the context is. She's just like, okay. Well, good luck.
Can I walk back to the apothecary?
Yeah, you can.
So I'm gonna walk back, find my druid friend,
Mm-hmm.
and be like, "Hello, do you know of any transportation?"
I came here with a small group. We left one of our grove per city that we passed. They would have ended towards the far western plain.
Okay. Is there any way to get back to the forest without, transport?
You look like a fast creature. It's not uncommon for people to walk in these parts.
Well, y'all see, I'm pretty quick, but the rest of my party members, not so much. Need to find them, some transport.
So, would you give up on this conversation as this druid doesn't have any information for you? This druid has been here for quite a long time before you joined the party, and definitely does not have any transportation or any means of knowing how to transport without the use of their legs.
Okay. Then can I walk back outside and see if there's any horses we could steal?
Roll perception for me, please.
Fuck's sake, these rolls are so shit tonight. 6.
Okay, with a 6, you definitely do see that at the sign that leads into the quote-unquote city, there is a black and silver caravan. Like a carriage, much smaller than the one that the gnome would have brought you here on. It can just fit the party in it.
Okay, I'm gonna rush back inside, tug at all of the party, like to bring them down so it's like to a bare whisper, and to be like, right, I've got our transport, but we need to be quick. Come on, follow me. And then I'm gonna rush back outside and run over to the caravan.
Yes. The closer you get to the caravan, you get the familiar smell of garlic, but it seems quite faint.
Okay. Can I, as a full raccoon, no robes, with just my backpack on, like investigate and just check there's no one at the caravan?
Absolutely. It's completely devoid of any creatures. There's no one within earshot, eyeshot, or anything. You were the only one outside at the time. It is too early in the morning for anyone really to be doing their daily stuff. The only people awake are the dwarf in the apothecary, the landlady Trin, and 1 or 2 customers that have just overheard everything in the tavern itself. That's it.
Even my whispers? Because I do not want to be caught. They heard my whispers. I was so quiet.
It was an empty room. There was no other noise. That's like whispering in a hallway and being like, why is it echoing? There's no one else here.
Fuck it, I'm not thinking about this. I'm gonna untie the horses, and as the party are walking out, just be like, come on, hurry up!
So as you actually make your way to the carriage itself, you hear something coming from a nearby well to your left. It seems to just be a low hum, and the smell of garlic is growing stronger again as the wind picks it up from the well and blows it directly into your face. It is almost overwhelming for Ricky, but everyone else just smells quite nice.
Okay,
And
then in which case,
the
I
low
think that's
hum
enough
that you hear is
distraction.
just it's just a low nobleman's voice just going
I think it's enough to distract Ricky, and I am gonna go over to this well.
Go on. Yep, go for it.
ADHD ass fucking raccoon.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say this is like a full raccoon with ADHD right now, but I am gonna look down the well and just be have a look what the fuck's going on.
It is pitch black, and the distance to the bottom of this well is way too far for you, even with some form of seeing in the dark, like dark vision. It's like
What if-
90 to 120 feet of darkness, and it's just
What if I-
echoing through.
What if I threw like a tiny, harmless sensory orb that lights up? It's a golden orb. Well, if it's clear skies tomorrow, it'll be a golden orb.
As this orb, it is going to be clear skies. This is a source of light for you. As you drop this orb down, it lands. You see what appears to be knight's armor, sort of at the bottom of this well, with a very large, bulbous, almost vegetation-looking head, like a bulb of garlic, if you will. And as this light drops directly in between its legs that are sort of curled around as it's squeezed into this well, you see its hands sort of slam over the top of the light and then hold it up and just go,
Are you okay?
After a few seconds, you hear, oh, hello. Who said that?
Me.
Hi, me. Nice to meet you.
My name's Allison.
Oh, Taliesin. Hello. Me, Taliesin. Nice to meet you. I woke up down here. I don't know how I got here.
Can I borrow?
Your Wi-Fi connection says no.
If I help you get out, can I borrow your caravan? I'll bring it back.
The caravan, that's for a small party of people. Old man was wandering past. He said there was an angel and a water person and a bunch of
Hey,
others
that's
that
me.
was for. Oh, you're an
Did he
angel.
mention a bread?
Oh, amazing.
No, I'm a god. I'm a god, actually, but it's okay. I can understand the confusion.
Oh,
Not
okay.
even a god.
Well, I guess it's yours then. Do you
Okay.
have maybe a very long rope?
No.
Okay.
How easily could I climb down this?
It is too wide for you to like shimmy down.
But like as a raccoon, I'm naturally quite athletic, right?
You are indeed.
Right.
Do you have the movement speed of 120 to 150 foot?
No, I guess I'm gonna have to do this. So I'm gonna cast spider climb on myself.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna climb down, cast
Okay.
spider climb on him, and go, come on, let's get out of here, and then climb back out.
When you reach the bottom, he has actually stopped talking and you hear him snoring.
I'm gonna kick him so he wakes up.
That's going to be an attack.
I'm gonna push him so he wakes up.
He does not wake up.
I'm gonna hold his nose if he has one.
He does not.
So he wakes.
What?
Oh god
As
damn it!
you
I'm gonna.
as you grab for whatever nose there is, this like bulbous Gallic shaped helmet that he seems to be wearing. There's two very small eye sockets. There's a small line for a mouth, and there's nothing for a nose. You get the idea that this person or creature underneath this helmet didn't want to be bothered. The armor is impenetrable.
Can I open his eyes?
No, you can't reach. The helmet is so wide that you cannot reach his eyes through the helmet.
Okay,
They're
can
just
I
like
kick
very
him then?
long, like pin
I'm gonna have to
holes.
kick him.
Go for it. Roll to hit an arm strike.
Fucking, that's the good one. I get an 18.
You miss.
Do 0 damage anyway, so it's fucking fun.
Yeah. You actually, your foot as you kick him just bounces right back off, and he's just
Salem,
snoring away.
Salem goes over to the well as he just looks down at us. What the fuck are you doing in there? Weren't we supposed to be fast?
There's a garlic man down here. He's given us the caravan. We don't have to steal it now. But he won't wake up.
As you're explaining this, you get the idea that he is just in an incredibly deep sleep, perhaps magical. You're uncertain, but he sort of snores and starts muttering about dragons under his breath and great adventures.
Why are you down there?
He asked for help out. I don't have rope, but I was going to get him out with spider climb.
It's just snoring away peacefully. You get the idea
Any
that he's
more
not
questions?
actually that worried.
Sam just kind of stares, just reaches into their backpack and just pulls out a piece of rope, hempen rope, and just tosses one end down. Can you secure it to him?
I'm going to secure it to him, to his leg.
Okay.
Done.
Right, so the leg of the armor is actually so thick. How long is this piece of rope?
50 feet.
Okay, it doesn't reach the bottom.
Oh my god, right.
It's 120 to 150 feet.
What?
Deep as well. Okay, does anyone else have their basic dungeoneering pack or that type of stuff?
I
each one
do.
should get 50 feet.
Each of you would probably
I do have the
lengths of
rope.
rope. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will
rope.
add my rope.
No, I actually do have rope.
So you make sort of like a daisy chain of these ropes. You need 3, or if all of you have the same length rope. You haven't used it yet in the campaign, so you
Yeah, I'm
absolutely
using mine.
right. 3 of you. Okay, so that's Salem, Saturn, and I'll say Fabienne as well. Talazid is just watching peacefully, enjoying.
Yeah, I
himself.
don't have any rope.
He says while brandishing his rope.
Sam's just gonna look at the rope. So how big is this guy, by the way?
He's
So
pretty small.
Ricky, you can see that this guy, he's not tall. Even though he's sat down, you can't necessarily see his exact height. It's quite hard to work out, but he's very wide. Like the armor set that he's wearing, very wide, very heavy.
I'm just going to say he's very small.
Okay.
Okay. Salem tries to pull him up, using the well edge as kind of leverage.
Okay, so you've tied the rope around the leg, you said?
He is.
Okay, as you pull, I would like you to make a strength check for me, please. I'll say
Beautiful. I have an
athletics.
8 in strength.
Athletics if you want to. Or,
Oh,
or it
plus
can be a
1 in
straight
athletics.
strength. Yeah.
I got a 15.
A 15. Okay. As you pull with all of your might, using your leg against the wall of this well as leverage, the rope seems to come loose. You feel like maybe this is much lighter than originally expected. It might have been caught on something. And as you keep pulling and pulling and pulling, you only get 2 lengths of rope at the top. And the third is, as Ricky would see, now dropped down into the bottom of this well, still wrapped around the knight's leg. As he innocently and unbeknownst to him is just snoring away. Seems quite happy.
I'm gonna untie the rope and then just walk back up and just be like, okay, I'm done with this.
Does everyone get their rope back? Do you give the rope back to... I'm going to say Saturn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna give...
Thanks.
Well,
It was a
good
noble
trade.
effort. A very noble effort.
I tried, but I feel he wasn't destined to leave that well.
Yeah.
All the
This is
party
on
can
him
hear
at this
from the
point.
bottom of the well is this echoing snore and just mumbling, happy sort of like, you know, typical cartoon bullshit. He seems content. He seems like he's having a good dream.
Is there any like large rocks that could cover the well?
Oh my god.
No.
Oh my
Absolutely
God.
fucking not.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that is insane.
Ricky, why don't you leave him some bread in case he gets hungry?
I've already walked off and I'm not listening to anything Fabia just said.
Right, so
Even if I hear it, I'm ignoring it.
are you walking towards the carriage that has been
Yeah.
left for you? Okay.
That I was definitely going to steal, but decided
But
not
is
to.
but is turned out it's yours. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Is-
So, oh, go on.
I was gonna say, is there a way I could use command to wake him up?
I'm gonna say that it would only work if he was conscious,
Okay.
as command has to be heard in order to take effect.
And it has a
Uh,
60 feet range.
Point.
Oh yeah, the range as well would be very important.
Oh, actually, I'm gonna look at Fabienne, who is presumably here too, and just say, hold this rope and make sure the other end doesn't fall again.
Okay,
And I'm gonna
holding.
I'm gonna grab on the rope and slowly descend down until I'm within 60 feet.
This is the you've given the rope back to the others, so I'm guessing this would be Salem and Fabian's rope if you've discussed this amongst yourselves.
Probably.
Yes.
Okay, so you've got 100 feet of rope. 120 to 150 is the ultimate size of the well. Yeah, you're within 60 feet, hanging from a piece of rope.
I'm gonna need him to make an intelligence saving throw because I cast Mind Sliver on him.
And what would that do, and what does it require?
An intelligence saving throw, and it would hurt his mind. It would make him take damage. So he
I mean,
wakes up.
what is the actual like cast itself? How are you doing this?
It's a cantrip verbal.
Okay, so he has to be conscious of you saying it if it's verbal.
No, I cast the spell and send a disorienting spike of psychic energy into someone's mind.
There we
It's
go.
not a-
Okay, so he starts having a nightmare.
Pretty much. Hopefully that wakes him up. Since it does do enough damage to potentially kill an average peasant, it'd be a very bad nightmare.
He does not wake up, but after a few seconds, he seems to fall into the same peaceful slumber again.
I'm just gonna climb back up and say, I tried. And just just fucking walk off.
Fair enough. So I assume everyone remaining is going to just want to go in the carriage.
Yeah.
Feeling slightly defeated by the knight at the bottom of the well, who smells of garlic and has a Gallic helmet, who is just snoring away, seemingly impossible to wake up. You get into this carriage. It is black and very expensive looking silver trim. The black itself is also metal, which is quite weird to you. Usually carriages are wood, so you get the idea that this is reinforced. The inside is like a velvet luxury inlay. And the odd thing to you is, we said about, Ricky said about trying to free the horses earlier, but there are no horses. As you get in, there is simply a singular orb in the middle on a table. And as you do get in as well, it seems much bigger, almost TARDIS-esque in dimension. Very small on the outside, very large on the inside. There's plenty of leg room. None of you have to worry about squeezing in. And you are simply in this large carriage now, which is bigger than the caravan. It's gigantic, if you will. What would you like to do?
I want to be annoying.
Do it.
One of my instruments is a war gong.
Bet.
A what?
I want to try and wake up the Garlic Knight with my war gong.
Are you placing it like on top of the well, or just slamming down on it?
Literally, like the well's gonna make amplify it, right? Because it's 120 feet deep.
It is indeed.
It's gonna be like a bell to this motherfucker.
Yeah, it's gonna be like so overwhelming.
Okay, I would like to use my war gong, please.
Okay, roll performance for me, please.
Okie dokie. 15.
Okay, so you perform a wonderful marching drums sort of war chant that you had picked up from stories from back home of a great warrior that once populated the same place. And as you do this, you actually can still hear him snoring. It is louder than the war gong itself. He literally beat your roll by a 1, by the way.
Oh no! No!
So as you're slamming down on this war gong, he's just like he seems to be enjoying it, like it's soothing him.
The sleepiest man ever.
The sleepiest man. Yeah, indeed.
I am so incredibly annoyed by this.
I'm gonna go ahead and assume that everyone gets in the carriage after that amazing moment.
Fine.
Right, so if you are all in the carriage, it is just up to you what you do here. There is a mysterious orb in the center, not the same style orb that sent you to hell and then back to the realm. It seems to be like a psychic's future-telling sort of orb that a psychic would use to tell fortunes and that sort of thing. It's very odd that this would be in the middle of a carriage.
I would like to ponder my orb.
Ponder your orb, good sir. Ponder your orb.
Assuming it's mine now, because Salem is entitled to everything.
Except waking up onion men.
Yeah, except waking up onion men, I guess.
Yes, none of you have woken the Gallic man. Man in quotations, by the way. You have not confirmed the gender or anything, the species of this knight. He's just a knight who wears very large, thick armor.
Do I get anything from pondering the orb?
Yeah, tired. The longer you all spend staring at this orb, no matter what you want to do, you start to feel tireder and tireder. You are all put in a similar state of sleep to the Gallic knight. Similar, not the same. You are all in a deep sleep. Anyone who cannot be put to sleep magically, everyone else has fallen asleep around you. So,
Okay.
Taliesin, you're still awake. You can play yourself a song or do whatever it is you would like to do. Try and nudge everyone, see what the fuck's going on.
I'd like to give a slight nudge to Ricky.
There will be no reaction.
Peace at last.
Perfect. Salem,
is
I
it-
think
is-
you as well. Was it you who also can be put to sleep by magic?
Oh, I can be put to sleep, I just can't
You just
dream.
don't dream. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. So, yeah, 4 of you are dead to the world. You are very asleep right now. Taliesin is just alone in this carriage, this very large carriage. Just doesn't seem to be any windows on the outside, but it's still quite well lit. There seems to be a pink mist in the atmosphere emanating from this orb. But there's no physical effect to you. You imagine you may be chosen by a god to withstand this terrible treachery. Or you may just believe just to yourself that everyone was really tired after going to hell and you're just built different.
Well, seeing as everyone just, I'm assuming, looked like they collapsed around me, can I first check that my party's alive?
Yeah, can you give me a medicine check?
Oh, fuck. 6.
Okay, so as you put your 2 fingers against the forehead of each party member, you detect no pulse.
Okay. Panic ensues. Can I inspect the orb as well?
You can indeed, yes. Investigation for that.
Oh, motherfucker. 4.
It's an orb.
It's
pink.
an orb.
It wasn't pink when you came in, but it's pink now, and it stays pink now.
Okay. Are the doors shut to this caravan?
Indeed, they are, yes.
Can I... So there's no windows.
No windows, doors are closed, your whole party is asleep around you, and there's just a pink orb in the middle on a small, like, desk, like a table.
Okay. Is there anything else on the desk?
Nope, just the orb.
Okay, can I try the door, seeing as I may have 4 dead bodies around me?
You can indeed. You can try the door. But as you do,
Okay.
it does not open. Like
Okay.
it was like it locked behind you as the last party member got in.
Okay. Rock back and forth. Try to think how I get away with murder, possibly.
Okay, so Talazin, you grow increasingly weary and tired as 3 days pass.
Okay. I don't know what to do here. I don't know whether to let myself fall asleep or am I in incredible danger.
Right, so as far as the people asleep go in, I don't think you need one, but if you do, if you've got any spell slots or anything, you can take a long rest. Talazin, you can as well, but only if you sleep during the 3 days.
Okay. I will take the long rest.
Okie dokie. You then wake up to a click sound coming from the doors of the carriage as both doors swing open. And on one side, you are greeted by Grug, the large red half-orc. This is all of you, by the way. The orb, that was pink to you, Talzin, is now just dim again, sort of a silvery sheen to it. And then on the other side is Fizban, sort of stood, hands behind his back, sort of just chuckling. He says, "How fares the vacation? Good to see Kinku still has his magic touch."
Go!
Fabian, flying in from behind Fizban is Francois, who flies directly into your arms, gleefully screaming, "Oh, mon chéri," and then blows kisses and starts pecking you on the cheek. Without any actual, like, physical contact, like, he's pecking the cheek from, like, the typical French way, you know, it's, like, just a small few millimeters away. And then, with a sort of look of horror and disgust falling over his face, he says, "Madame, tu crains, vous peux," which to you just means you stink, you fucking smell, you smell disgusting. And then he says, "Mon chéri, où étais-tu?" which is, where have you been?
I'm going to explain to him in Celestial where we have been, and that we encountered a strange man in a well who smelled like garlic.
Are you
Which
going
he
to
should
tell him
like.
about your trip to hell, or are you just telling him about the trip to the well?
I will tell him about both. Because
You
I
sort
tell
of-
him everything.
You sort of, "Sacre bleu, pardon très, dommage, dommage." And he's just like very overactively, just like a theater kid crying, one hand over the top of his head, the other one like flaying off and like gesturing at the sky, just, "Mon chéri." And what you gather from this is he is yelling, "No entry now, no entry, for shame, for shame." He summons what appears to be like an IRL, like a modern set of taps, like a faucet for the Americans who don't know English, and it starts pouring holy radiant water over your head from above you, like it's floating directly above you, until you no longer stink of the ashes of hell. And he's just crying, sort of like sniffing you and just sort of making sure it's safe to even be around you now.
Francois, you drama queen. We have been on a mission.
I actually don't know how to say this in French, so I'll just say it in English. He just says, "Yeah, I know." And then just Chipper, all of a sudden, you no longer smell of ash. He no longer feels repulsed by you. He's sort of just resting, like, sort of flying behind you, but resting his two front legs on your shoulder, just like head against them. Just watching Fizz, ready for him to speak. But ultimately, if anyone else wants to say anything, feel free.
Since I don't dream, would I notice the passage of time? Would I have been trapped in a dark abyss for the last 3 days?
I will allow you to decide for yourself whether it is like an instant you fell asleep, you woke up to you, or if it is like a 3-day you are conscious of the fact that you are asleep but cannot move and cannot hear or see anything that goes on around you. Like you are completely unconscious of the outside world, if you will. It's up to you which one it is.
Gotcha. Well, it says that I take from the memories of an otherworldly spirit. So I suppose I just busy myself in kind of in some kind of memory plane for 3 days.
So
and
essentially,
I'm fucking pissed off.
So for 3 days, you have been essentially watching maybe your deity or something just go about their daily life, which is very oddly mundane, to say the least, and you have been bored out of your mind for 3 days. Like, you know, they just sat in an outhouse reading the local news, stuff like that.
I just kind of talk to myself like, Jesus, is my other half really that fucking boring? And then I just go, hey, Fizzman, right? Can I never do that again?
With a nod and a smile, he says, "Only a temporary situation. Let's. I've got something for you, but in time. How did it go with Nox and Bale? Is my old friend ready to answer the call? I did send notice that if she agreed, I would allow her to know when and where she is needed. So did she answer? Has she pledged?"
She did.
He sort of,
She's ready.
as if expecting you to say this, like you already knew the answer once again. He sort of just nods, smiles, wanders off.
I think Ricky,
Mhm.
kind of waking up out of his slumber, after making sure he's got his bread, because that's his first priority, is then going to turn and just be like, who the hell's this guy?
Fizzman sort of just smiles and looks over you as he's waiting for the party to explain, but ultimately will not interject with the conversation.
I explain nothing.
Perfect. No one is explaining. So, ignoring the question from Ricky Martin, Fizzban will still hands behind the back, just a very peaceful, dopey sort of happy smile on his face. Well, like you said, this carriage without a driver is useless. How are we going to get you around this forsaken realm? Thinks for a moment, and then just sort of goes, I know. He shuffles around in a pouch that he has underneath his robe, and he says, not that one, still covered in worms. How many times did I tell him no more worms? After a few seconds, he says, there it is. And he takes several long strides away from the party into a nearby clearing in the trees, pulls a small black figure from his pouch that is too small for you to figure out what it represents, places it on the ground, and then just stands on top of it, staring off into the party with a dopey smile on his face. As he is doing this, he starts to slowly rise in the air as this small black icon grows in size. It appears to be a gigantic black oaken airship by the time that it stops, and he's just stood on the top deck looking down at everyone as it levitates millimeters off the ground. It's got great silver trimming like the carriage, but the difference is at the front of this airship is a great silver dragon head. And he just gestures with open arms and says, "My friends, your new home. Welcome to the Bahamut's behemoth." And as he says so, a wooden walkway drops from the top for you all to make your way onto the deck.
And we have to meet Grog for something, or
Grug and Fizban have just been talking while you wait.
Okay.
Instead of you recruiting Grug for the cause, Fizban did it in person.
all right.
But yeah, if you do choose to enter the airship, or if you're a little cautious, the airship is gigantic. As you look around, there are plenty of rooms below the deck. There's supplies for the party to live on. And oddly, players of Campaign 1 may remember this feature that I gave you. Whenever the party crave, need, or even think of something that they deeply want or need, it seems as though mostly, within reason, their material needs will be met. As if the ship itself is a conscious entity answering these thoughts, feelings, and needs like questions. It cannot, however, no matter how hard you try, grant living creatures of any race, non-existent items, or something that does not belong in this realm. So, Fabienne, you cannot summon anything celestial. You cannot summon anything from the infernal realm that you had previously visited. But ultimately, Ricky, you have an endless supply of bread. Talazin, spare strings for your lute, any sort of musical instrument or like a stage for yourself, the rooms you find yourself going in are catered to your personality. Everything you would have wanted is apparently there. And as you're exploring, Fizban just says, well, happy trails. And remember, there is a list in the map room. You need every specific person to visit before you speak to me again. I will be off elsewhere taking care of other business. Good luck.
Ricky is definitely not getting on the airship.
Fair enough.
I am definitely getting on the airship.
Ricky, you feel a very large hand grab a hold of you. And sort of like a child playing with a toy, Grug is guiding you up the ship.
No. Ricky stays on ground.
He's just there like, little puppy, go in the ship. It's a good ship. And he's like remembering what the ship was like for him in Campaign 1, which was pretty much the same, but it was bound to water. And he's sort of like just placing you against like the top of that walkway. And then as you're at the top, the sort of bridge leading the land to the ship just completely cuts back in as if reeling back in. Like a tape measure.
I'm not letting go of Grug.
He's just sat on the side of the ship, sort of smiling as he also holds onto you, and he's just like, cute puppy.
Call me a puppy. I'm a raccoon. You giant dove.
Bonk is on his shoulder, just staring at you. Also, just sort of like, bonk, bonk, bonk. Every time Grug says anything, he just copies the amount of syllables.
Bonk, can you tell this man to please get me off the ship?
Bonk and Grug look at each other with just the dopiest smiles on both their faces and like just look back at you and they're just still smiling like you're going on an adventure. And Grug just places you, or tries to place you against the floor of the deck for you to run free on the ship.
Nope. I'm holding on to him for dear life.
You just hold on, yeah. You're probably holding on to the amulet as his arms are actually too thick for you to get your arms around.
Yeah, my claws are deep in there.
Fair enough. He's just sort of shrugging it off. He's fine.
I have never left the land. I do not like this.
He's a level 20 barbarian. He can take whatever you dish out.
Yeah.
Can I come back to the deck holding bread?
You can indeed.
I'm just going to hold a giant loaf of bread above my head and show Ricky what I've got.
No, Nope. Fear is outweighing this one.
So, Ricky, is there anything specific you're thinking of that you need, want, or desire?
The land.
Okay, so for you and only you, the deck of the ship seems to morph into a grassy mound, as if the land itself is moving and there is no ship.
Can I picture like a burrow?
You can indeed.
Yeah, I'm just diving for the burrow as soon as I see one.
Yeah, sort of any ground that you imagine is, catered to what you need to be comfortable. Everyone else in the party, Ricky has just dived down the stairs to below deck and he's in his room, whimpering as he goes. Yeah, is there anything anyone would like to do? You've got this incredible sentient airship. There is a map room that you've been told about with a note that has been left for you.
Salem looks at Salem thinks about this whole situation, just kind of goes fuck it, and asks the ship verbally out loud for a book, just any book.
Just a plain book. Yeah, you get you get the sort of like a pamphlet appears in front of you, a very small book, albeit, but it is a book nonetheless, and it seems to be places to visit in Fairwater.
Right,
it's like a tourist's map.
Right, we've left that place already.
No,
can I get
haven't been to Fairwater.
Fantasy book. Salem.
Have not been home.
Can I get a thick fantasy book?
Yeah.
And just like that, the story of Quad Maverick appears within your hands. And then you recite the entirety of Camp 1 for our viewers on Twitch and YouTube.
Well, it all started with a little...
I like how you were only there for half of it as well. So it's literally from like Act 4 onwards. Out of 4 out of 6, yeah. It all started in the Underdark. 4 acts into the story.
So the real story only started once they were in the Underdark, right, guys?
Yeah,
and
when Paracelsus
arrived. The most important character, of course.
The Necromancer.
The big bad
guy. The story didn't start until Bonk arrived.
The big bad guy for this campaign, apparently. So, but yeah, I'm just gonna head to the map room while reading this story because somehow Salem had never heard of this story before. Straight up, just this common knowledge thing just whizzed past them in their research. So I'm just gonna head to the map.
There's a chance that if you had heard of it, you would have known that there were impressive wizards, warlocks involved in the story, and maybe you would have also been given some information about the relation to the Infernals and also the Celestials. Obviously, the Infernal you've already met. That would have been Noxpira. If you did not read the book, you have no idea who that was, by the way.
Had absolutely zero clue.
Yeah, absolutely nothing.
Then I head to the map room, I guess. Look for this note.
Okay, sure as shit is you're looking for it. It's gonna present itself to you. There is a map of the centralized world, so the Far East where Ricky would be from. I think it was East we agreed on, and the West, I think, where Salem would have been from. I can't remember your exact origin story. I'm sorry. Where you're from, that is. I think we were gonna decide on it. I'm gonna go ahead and say where you're from isn't on there unless it's within this area between Melistinaas and Toriel.
Sounds good. Very far away. Ran very far away.
So the land on this map, it's sort of like a U shape, and then the top half has sort of just all ocean. But in the center of this ocean part of the map, animated is a monsoon just tearing in these eternal circles, and you see a small, tiny little rock in the middle. But yeah, this appears to be an up-to-date live map of the world that you are currently in. If you squint with good enough eyesight, you will even see the airship that you are on. The note is just left on top of this map, on a blank section of it, on like the rim of it, and you do indeed spot this note with ease, almost as if it is purposely colored in a way to contrast against the map.
I suppose I read it.
Okay, it's a list of names and locations. So the first name on the list is Grug Beorborn, chieftain of the Beorborn tribe. Last known location, Bahamut's behemoth awaiting instruction. Bonkophales Beorborn, bloodsworn to Grug, adopted brother. Last known location, Bahamut's behemoth awaiting instruction. Nithrali, celestial protector of the mortal realm. Last known location, the pantheon of the celestial plane, awaiting instruction. Nuxbyra, general of the Third Circle, warlock warrior of Baal. Last known location, the Third Circle, awaiting instruction. Rudavir Cathoriaith, lord of the entertainment capital. Last known location, Fairwater. Vanwa, daughter of the Barber of Melistinas. Last known location, Melistinas. Emrys Ixen, draconic king of the Ixen tribe, former chosen of Bahamut. Last known location, Melistinas. Vivix Ixen, drake and loyal servant to Emrys Ixen. Last known location, Melistinas. Lawsuit, raptor. Last known location, the Storm's Eye, tomb of Orcus, tribute of sin. Eleanor Geraine Ziltin, adventurer, widow. Last known location. And then the words are sort of jumbling in an enigma until it settles on the word unknown.
Salem just kind of looks at this list. Why is there a raptor on here? What the fuck? Do we need to search out a raptor?
It would appear so.
And Salem just kind of calls for the party to come in there and check it out.
Right. Dead. Before we continue with this, as Grug is on the airship with you, and he knows just as much as your character does, you now have dialogue control of Grug.
So I have all the memories of last campaign.
Indeed, yes. If Grug would remember them after 50 years. So you are now both Ricky and Grug while aboard Bahamut's behemoth.
Okay. This feels good, man. This feels real good.
I wanted to give you at least a moment to relive it.
Are you able to check your Discord?
Yeah, I got my phone right here.
Just quickly check that. You give me a yes or a no, and I'll know what to do. But I know Ricky is going to be hiding in his burrow because he does not want to be offline.
That's one of the reasons I'm giving you control of Grug now, rather than when I was going to later.
So great, we have a level 20 barbarian in our party now. Perfect.
You can indeed, Dead. That's an absolute yes. You're in character. Go for it.
Okay. So Grug is going to have come downstairs with you guys. Oh my god, it feels so good to say that.
Right, before you do, Grug can't read. So Salem needs to share who the names are on the list for you to know for sure.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so Grug's going to come downstairs. You just go, what's it say?
We need to find a lot of people. The main thing that got my attention is we need to find a raptor. I don't know why.
Oh, Louis! I know
What?
Louis. I remember Louis. Joey's friend.
Who?
Louis.
Okay.
Didn't Grug used to refer to Drow as Mama Drow?
That was when we played BG3.
Oh, yeah. And I was going to say, even though in the latter half of the campaign, Drow actually shapeshifted into a more masculine form.
I think it was Drowy for most of the campaign, from what I remember.
Oh, yeah, true. Okay, go for it.
It was only BG3 that it was Mama Drow.
Yeah, I remember now. It's been a while.
Yeah, Any other names?
Like Emrys something.
Henry!
Yeah.
He's my best friend.
And we need to somehow manage to gain access to the Lord of Fairwater.
Oh!
Grug is absolutely conscious of the fact that Rudy had to leave to become the Lord.
Bonk! Bonk, time to go! Time to go, Bonk!
Bonk
and
is
then
just
he's
like a really excited chimp has just grabbed onto whatever, like whether it's clothes or just the skin of your shoulder and is jumping up and down, like smashing his head against you, just going bonk, bonk, bonk.
Does Grug have a backpack with him with all his stuff?
Unlikely, as you have been living off the land for the last 35 to 40 odd years.
But there's precious items that he kept.
Oh, he would have literally in hand, or like the loot would have been strapped to his back, the hat would have been on his head. They're the only two things that he owned.
Okay, we're going to say he was holding his hat because he's going to pop it on and he goes, Captain Grug and Lieutenant Bonk, back for duty. And then he's going to run upstairs and just shout, Ship to Rudy!
Nothing happens.
Oh, this thing's not working. Is there a wheel?
No.
Salem
just kind of points to the city on the map and then just asks, "Can we go here?"
What city are you pointing at?
It was the Lord of Fairwater, correct?
Indeed. That's where Rudy is, yes. Okay, so as you point at the place on the map and say, "Can we go here?" Who is with you in the map room as you say this?
I think we all
I came
were.
as well.
Yes,
Okay, so everyone is
everyone
gone.
included Ricky.
Everyone
Okay.
but Grug and Ricky.
Well, Grug would have probably followed back to... Well, no, Grug went up to the deck, didn't he? So Grug isn't there, okay.
Yeah.
But the current party, except for Ricky, is there.
Yes.
There I go, losing track of all of the players again. Yeah, go for it. A question was asked by Salem as they pointed to the map and said, "Can we go there?"
Is he asking the ship or the party?
The
I
party.
think I was asking. No, I was asking the ship.
You asked a
And,
question, you
but
didn't make a demand.
Salem does not know that. Salem just thinks this is a useless ship.
Alexa, take us to Fairwater.
Hey Siri, what's with the holdup? Shut up, Siri, no!
I think Grug is going to come downstairs. How far away is the stairs from the map room?
In a similar sort of lack of a layout to the previous campaign ship, which was the Bahamut's Blessing, by the way, for anyone who was not witness. As you walk down the stairs, you're in the map room, as if willing to be there.
Okay, I think he's going to sit on the bottom step and just go, I just want to go Fairwater and see Rudy.
And just like that, as he says this, you feel the ship sort of turn to face the western area, and it, with a click, it just jolts like a crack of wind, as if thunder has just snapped around you. And it stops after what feels like a few seconds.
I walk outside, I suppose.
Yeah, me too.
Right then.
Grug is going to sniff the air and see if he can recognize any scents.
Log.
Grug is not Ricky and does not have the same keen sense of smell. So you can smell air.
That's fair enough. I'm just trying to keep with what Grug did last campaign.
So, anyone who has memories of Fairwater, anyone who has been there before, you definitely are in Fairwater. You are at the tippity top right outside the large black centralized castle at the top of the mountain, as this whole city spans around the mountainside in one long road. You are parked opposite a great theatre, And to the left is the path winding down. To your right is this big black castle with black iron gates. I will say, Grug, Fizban has specifically asked you not to assist the party when it comes to recruiting people, but you can speak to them if they board the ship.
Okay. Grug is going to sit down and just go. So he's going to come up, confirm to the party that this is Fairwater.
Yeah. So Fizban essentially will have told Grug, the party is going to bring you your old friends. That's all you have been told. And then you're going to go on another adventure together. That is the only information Grug has been given.
Okay. Now you go get Rudy for me. Go. Shoo. Get gone. Oh, and don't forget to take this little guy. And he's going to go down and try and find Ricky.
Without Ricky being willing for anyone to find him in his room, no one will be able to find him. But as he is so attached to the idea of wanting to get back to land, he probably will get a sense that he is in a safe area and he is able to leave the ship if he wants to.
Let's go with that then.
Yeah. So Ricky will come up and join you, I guess, as you are
he
looking
can
out
smell
over
land.
Fairwater.
And he's going to... so Grug's going to pick him up and then just put him on, like, Talson's shoulder or something. And Ricky is just going to grip onto Talson for dear life until they reach the ground.
Right. Before you all actually investigate, I would like a perception roll from every single one of you. I'm going to quickly run to the toilet.
Yep.
We need to percept that they've gone to the toilet? Yes, a pee has taken place here.
From memory of Fairwater, that is accurate. That one. The fear of Ricky is real.
I got a nat 20.
Opposite ends.
22. Let's go. Nat 1
Batman
and
is
nat
happy
20.
to be up in the air.
Thanks.
Has anyone seen Pocahontas 2?
No, because we're normal people.
Yeah, but there's a raccoon that goes on a boat and hates it, and it's just drawing very similar parallels right now.
Maybe I need to watch it so I can fully get into character.
Yes.
I return. Hello.
Greetings.
You missed the nat 1 and the nat 20.
What?
Yeah.
I got a nat 1 and Saturn got a nat 20.
Saturn got a nat 20.
Yeah.
Yes.
22
Okay.
to be exact.
So you said Ricky nat 1?
Yes.
What about the others?
15.
15?
Okay. Fabienne also 15?
Oui.
And Salem?
19.
19, okay. So Salem, Fabienne, you notice the same thing. You notice that this seems to be an entertainment district as you look down this hill. But as you're looking around your fellow party members, the bad, who should feel right at home, seems nervous, maybe upset. Ricky, entertainment district. That's pretty cool, right? Saturn.
No.
You notice more so Talzin's nervousness, and you start to think there might be something behind it, but it is absolutely up to you if you want to investigate this. I will give you some extra information as it was in that 20 if I think it fits.
Okie doke. Obviously Saturn noticing this and it being probably slap bang right in her face. She'd probably go up to him and be like, "Is you being here not a good idea, or what's got you so nervous?"
Well, I just don't have fond memories of this place. But much like the last time we were in, I believe I left here causing some trouble, and should probably keep my head down.
Do you think it was drunken trouble then?
Knowing me, absolutely.
Fair, I guess.
Saturn, as you got a nat 20, I will tell you, you think there's more information than Taliesin is letting on.
Right.
You feel like he's trying to brush it under the rug and like palm it off. That is the only other information I feel like I should give you. The rest is for you guys to do with what you will.
She seems, obviously by getting this from the conversation, she seems a little bit more determined to know what happened, and we'll start asking more questions, like when were you last here and stuff like that, I guess.
Well, I've been on the road so long, it's hard to think of the exact date. It's definitely been several years.
Is there someone in particular that you want to steer clear of?
Oh, just the general authorities might be best.
Oh, did you get in trouble with the law?
Let's say perhaps.
And I'll take that as a yes. Is there charges you need to avoid?
I'm sure they've forgotten about petty theft by now.
Okay, what did you steal?
Just a gem or two. Nothing particular.
A gem?
Yeah.
So just seems really interested now. What gems? What do they look like?
Gems. You know, Soldier of Fortune went seeking more fortune than he probably should have. And I've been avoiding the place since.
Right, okay. Would I know anything about these gems, Chrissy? Like, are they something of a famous thing
That depends on
happened
whether
in
you pass an insight check or not.
town? Ooh, okay. Now we're getting that one.
Taliesin, could you roll me a deception, please?
Absolutely. I think I asked this last time. Is the capital B in at 20?
Yeah.
Oh my
nat
god,
20.
never mind. Jesus Christ, I got a
Unless
17.
Saturn gets a nat 20, yeah, you
No.
absolutely believe him. Nothing seems suspicious about the gems thing. You know, it's quite common that the more fashionable boutiques and things would sell such things.
Okay.
They may have come from, you know, caves and adventures from the past. The Taliesin may have been a mercenary on behalf of these companies and that sort of thing. Maybe did get a bit greedy. So there is absolutely a chance that Taliesin is telling the truth. You seem
Okay,
absolutely convinced. In fact,
alright,
Taliesin
sure.
is so convincing with this story that everyone in the party, who their suspicions were sort of arising of something weird going on here, are sort of just like, oh, so he's just a thief, like that's it, like, and it's all settled. But ultimately you feel inclined to accept it. You feel maybe he's a changed person, and him being willing to return here is a sign of his betterment.
Yeah, okay. She's gonna be like, look, this is where I was born. I don't exactly want to get into trouble here, especially if it means that my family might be involved if anything happens to us. So let's not pick fights with the general authorities if possible and avoid that at all costs. Thank you.
I fully back this plan.
Salem pops up and it's like, oh, yeah, I better also not be seen with the general authorities. actually. Don't worry, I didn't steal anything. I just slept with some guy's wife. But that guy hates me, and he's pretty high up the rung in these kinds of places. So better not. So I agree with this plan.
Salem, can you just roll me a flat d20?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, but
I got a 9.
Okay, so 3 guards approach as you're all having
Oh, fuck.
this conversation,
Oh
sussing
my
each other
God.
out. And
wait, we're not in the air. I
they
thought we were in the air.
immediately address Saturn, who they recognize as being a Warder Genasi from
Mhm.
this sort of area. They're here very... They seem maybe like they're going to be concerned that you are parked in the air in a ship that belongs on water. They probably haven't noticed that magic has returned, or at least temporarily, as far as you know. They're very like, hi, you, welcome to Fairwater. Trade District, and he points downwards to where they came from, is this way. The entertainment district is where you are, and they just point at the theater and sort of back downhill a bit more again, and points at the Black Castle and just says, "This is Lord Rudivir's fortress. Open door policy. We're a very peaceful place. Just explaining for your friends here." And as he's explaining, his eyes meet Salem's, and a look of scorn fills his face. And sometimes I wish there was not an open door policy. And then
Nah.
looks to the rest of them. This is absolutely the guy who you banged the wife of.
Look, not my fault. Your wife had an open door policy, dude. Step off.
With a hand over his sword, he sort of grits his teeth, but ultimately lets it slide.
How high up in the air were we?
Enjoy. Well, the ship is probably 30 foot high, so they're shouting up at you if you're at the top. If anyone has come down the board that comes out, you're face to face.
Oh, if
Yeah.
if the board was there, I'm running down. If it's not, I'm jumping into their arms, yelling, "Catch me!"
The board is
I
there,
want-
absolutely is staying there, while
They
there are
just see a
people still
raccoon.
at the top.
With a backpack, just full force running off this ship.
Assuming how scared Ricky is of being on the ship, I would have assumed that you actually got to the ground before the guards arrived, as an entire conversation has gone by during that time.
Oh, cool! Then I would have walked off.
Fair enough. So you're just wandering about Fairwater at this point.
I'm an ADHD raccoon. I'm
Yeah,
definitely
fair
one.
enough.
So are the
Yeah,
guys leaving now?
So no, the guards aren't leaving. They're just sort of the same one, hand over his sword, but through gritted teeth and ultimately not striking you down to the ground, is saying, "Enjoy your stay," and then sort of averts his eyes back at the rest of the party and says, "Two of you, do I know you? You look familiar." Pointing at the entire party.
Oh, we get around.
Well, with no further ado, he just turns around and walks away.
I yell after him. Tell your wife I'm back.
You just hear, "I won't." And then
I'll tell her myself.
the guard to his left, talking very loudly over you, is just, "No, the Water Genasi, they all look very similar, and, oh, sorry, that was very elven of me. Very,
Racist.
very racist. It must be a traveling circus with the weird flying ship, though," and he's trying to distract this leading guard back down towards the trade district.
You could certainly say I know some tricks.
I'm gonna make a point every time you yell something, and if you come across him in private, he's killing you.
I'm killing him first.
Understandable.
Well, at least you have nothing to be afraid of now.
Right, so you have been told the rough layout. There are 3 directions you could run. There's either the Black Castle, where you're going to assume Rudy is, the theater, where you're going to assume there's going to be some sort of show on or something, and there's the other part of the entertainment district leading into the trade district. And anyone who has been here before also knows that the previous slums area from Campaign 1 on the outskirts of the bottom of the mountain are now just a thriving town.
Okay. I asked the ship for the average price of gross goods in major cities of the world.
You get a written contract from Fizban himself that is essentially an IOU.
I just say, ah, fuck, okay. And I said, I suppose we best do our quest first before we seek leisure.
Yep. I think we head for the castle.
All right. Before you
Yeah.
do so, Ricky, which way did you go?
Which has the nicest smell?
That would be toward the trade district, further down the mountain, where all the bakeries and things would be.
At any point was I told that we need to see Rudy?
Not that I'm aware of. No one has directly spoken to Ricky since you got on the airship. And
Yeah,
when
which
you
case?
ran off and walked off, you would have more or less been alone. You've missed every conversation that has been had since the ship was a thing.
In which case, towards the smell of food.
There we go. You do, in fact, find a baker, and they mistake you for a regular raccoon and just hand you some nibbles. And they're like, a little fella with his little life here and his cute backpack. Who's missing their wonderful little friend? You're just going to purr at them, are you? Yeah, they just keep feeding you, and they're just like looking around for a potential owner, sort of waiting for someone to walk in behind you, but it just never happens. They just keep feeding you whenever you look like you want food.
I'm literally just going to always look like I want food.
They're gonna keep feeding you. This is a very well-off town area. One thing you will perceive without a check is in the sort of how downhill the world has gone. This area that used to just be a slum area and a very torn, two-sided city is now a thriving town where the water genasi have essentially made up for everything that magic would have been doing for them. There's plenty of clean water. There's plenty of food that has been grown at the bottom of the mountain. You know, the wheat and things, it's plentiful. They have so much bread here that they could keep you fed for the entire time you need to be here.
I'm going to keep getting fed until I'm full and then look for an open fire to sleep next to.
Okay, the open fire is literally an oven where they cook the bread.
That is fine. I will go and sleep next to the oven.
Next
It's
to the
nice
oven.
and warm.
Gotcha. Okay, so you do indeed pass the fuck out. You're in a food coma. Congratulations. The rest of the party, you went towards where now? The castle, right?
I believe so. Before we go, may I
Yes.
apply my disguise?
Indeed, as previously discussed with us, you are in fact... You know exactly what you are, in fact.
Well, yes.
Anyone who knows Talazin does not recognize him.
It's okay. I've thought of this exact moment,
Mhm.
and I'm not sure how quickly it'll happen, but the disguise should appear on screen as well in the mines.
It's absolutely the best thing. Okay, so Talazin has grown a wonderful mustache, which means his elven blood is nowhere to be seen. He appears to be a human bard now.
so sorry.
Fucking perfect. So yeah, you, as the guard said, it's an open door policy. You are able to walk directly into this large, evil-looking black castle.
Mm-hmm.
But those who are from this area know that the evil has long been purged and came in the form of a racist elf. as you make your way through. There are guards. There's plenty of them, but they're just sort of waving you in, like asking how your day's going. Some of them recognize Saturn. No one recognizes Sailor Mortalzin, so you can imagine the thief and the debaucher are safe. Until eventually you do get to a room labeled Lord Rudevere's office, and he is indeed inside, working away. Still only looks like a 20-odd-year-old human, 25 at the oldest.
Wish the security was this lax the last time I was here.
Rudy looks up, sort of smiles. Welcome in, everyone. How are you? How can I help?
Hello. I don't know how to say this, but we're on a magic ship and we need your help defeating some kind of undead king.
You see his eyes widen, and he just... Fuck. Sort of comes to as a guard rushes in. And the guard says, the progress made searching for your young offspring, sir. There's reports of someone with a similar build, but different hair and slightly different face. A Daklai. Rudy sort of, what Daklai, where's that? Like, he has no idea of the surrounding area. Because you're not that far from Daklai now. It's the next area on. And he says, oh, yeah, we came across the weird-smelling knight who said that he had seen them in passing and then couldn't catch up with them. Said he was tasked with giving them a carriage of some sorts. Anyway.
How did he get out of that well?
You'll never know. The guard looks around and says, oh, looks very similar to the people stood right in front of you. And Rudy looks up, sort of assesses the face of each and every one of you and just goes, no, none of these are my son. Looks...
Are you sure?
He seems to hold for a moment and just sort of looks into each and every one of your eyes as if looking for something that can't be seen. But after a bit of time, he sort of smiles.
Maybe a raccoon.
Winks with one eye towards the ground, as if remembering or experiencing some kind of trauma, and he's just, so, undead fella, a ship. Don't suppose. Fizban sent you, perchance?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
That one, yeah.
The slightly deeper accent comes back, and he sort of just, for fuck's sake, again. What are you charged with?
Getting you guys to defeat him, but good news, I think some guy named Grog, he's waiting on a ship for you.
Grog, isn't he a Goliath? Travels with a group called Vox Machina, I think.
No way.
Do you mean Grog? Do you mean my old friend, the Red Orc?
Oh, Grog. Yes, Grog. Sorry, I never got his name. I just half listened to him talk.
A sort of look of wonder fills his face. You can see he's incredibly excited. Looks back and forth. One of the party members who, unless you're looking directly at them, you're not going to see who it is. And sort of, he goes, this is who I've taught my son about for so long. The warrior, my best friend. And he darts out of the room directly to the ship, the airship that is. And you just see him and Grug in an embrace. They are hugging it out.
Rudy!
He's not saying anything. He's just sobbing into your shoulder and sort of like patting Bonk on the head with his other hand as he embraces you. Grug.
So we're all left in his empty room now.
Did anyone think it would be more difficult to convince the Lord of Fairwater to just leave.
Yeah,
Yes,
just
very
abandon
much
his
so.
post.
I thought maybe being candid would help, and I think it did. So
I'd say that was a
Rudy-
rousing success.
Rudy sort of like brushes himself off, takes a step back, and it's good to see you, old friend. And as he's overheard you all say this, he's sort of, oh, I didn't agree to anything. I can't leave. I just wanted to see my best bud. Tell
Right.
Fizban, as glorious as the fame and this lordship is, and the previous championship I was blessed with, he sort of levels his voice back out to a sort of dull. Grog will recognize this is the same disguise voice he would use in the previous campaign before they found out who he actually was. And he's just sort of, I can't leave this place. They rely on me. I have so much work to do. I haven't found my son. And he says that bit very like loud and obnoxiously. And then he sort of steps off the ship and says, but Grug, do take care of them.
Rudy, no.
Well, you said you were looking for your son. If
I am.
we could help bring him back, would you reconsider?
He looks around the party, sort of looks down for a moment, and then looks back up with a smile on his face and says, no, I know he is going to make his own way back. But
Are you sure you wouldn't
until he
want
gets
some
back.
brave adventurers to look for him?
Any water genasi who left Fairwater would have been charged with finding him. So if you've come back, I can assume either you were unsuccessful already or you were successful. And he's here with you.
Well, I was. Would he know about Saturn, especially since she was so ill when she was little? Or no, not
Saturn's
really.
probably he wouldn't recognize Saturn by face. Doesn't know by like can't put the name to the face. I mean,
Mhm.
Sort of would know if you introduced yourself with your name, maybe, but ultimately has no idea who you are.
Yeah, she'd probably be like, I was born here, but I was that really sickly little genocide that was in their tent until they were like 20. I'm Saturn.
He's
and
sort
I
of
left.
in recognition of the name. He does sort of yes. You definitely would have been charged with such a duty. That is true. So, did you find him?
Not yet. What does he look like?
A lot like me, but just with a lot brighter hair, if you will. Last time I heard of a sighting of him, he still appeared as a half elf like myself. He's very inclined in the same way I am, very musical. But yeah, that's you don't you know of him already? Oh, sorry, I forget you were housebound for so long, you may not have even seen pictures. And he hands you a picture of Talzin.
Oh, is Talzin in the room or no?
You're outside of the ship.
Oh, is he
Talzin
with
is
us?
stood there as a human with a mustache right now.
Sasson's just gonna slowly turn to him and look him dead in the eyes and go, I guess we'll keep looking for him.
Please do. Obviously, if Fizban's got you on some great adventure, I don't want to get in the way of that. Just if you do hear anything, please send word to the guards here. They will inform me.
Yes, indeed. You'll be the first to hear if we find your son. Still just staring straight at him. Just
Oh, what lovely
seemingly
architecture on
confused.
these walls.
Talzin is just
Yeah,
like
sure, man.
one
Lovely
finger
architecture.
stroking down the wall of the castle, like, wonderful.
Look at these sconces. How lovely.
Yeah, why did he leave? Do you know?
Commitment issues.
To the castle? The castle? No.
Well, he is my next in line. He's the heir to lordship of Fairwater. I know he's more of a carefree spirit, like I was in my earlier days. It's, hard to keep a person like that grounded. I can only assume left to chase his own dreams, but, a letter would have been nice.
Right.
Right. No offense. Are you sure you were the best father?
That is a
Just
bloody
kind of
good
look-
question, Salem.
Kind of just looking straight
Rudy,
at
for a
Allison.
moment, just sort of strokes his chin, looks around at the party, looking at Salem, looking at Talzin, Saturn, Fabienne, and just, no, I was very absent. But he says it so coldly that you get the idea that there's no real attachment between Rudy and his son.
Oh. Okay, I see. And why would he want to come back if that was the case?
It's his born duty. He's next in line. Without my only son, who's gonna take over when I give up and go on my very early I'm sick of doing this job. I'm going to be honest with you. I want to train my son up to become the next in line very, very quickly. I hate responsibility, and I have the same issue.
Right. Wife? Question mark?
He pulls out his lute. Bad! Exclamation mark.
Oh, okay.
You suck. Looking at him. You are just straight up a bad person and you deserve everything that's coming for you.
Understandable.
every-
I've been told many things similar to this.
Right. And you just want your son back so he can take over, and that's it.
Look, I'm going to level with you. I haven't had a vacation in 50 years.
And I don't think you should use your son as a vacation opportunity.
He simply, with his
Sorry,
hands
what's
together
wrong?
in like a prayer manner, points them forward to you and just says, 50 years. I have worked 7 days a week.
Oh, boo-hoo.
just
Well, I
leaving.
suppose we'll keep an eye out for the little brat.
I
We'll
guess
send a
we'll-
raven. Bye. I'm going to head back to the ship.
Well, if you do find him, maybe I'll help Fizban. A little incentive for you. And then I'm taking a long break.
Right.
I'm gonna be frank. I'd rather convince the guy whose wife I fuck to help us than you right now.
Look, Frank, you have no authority here. Please respect me.
No. I will not be doing that, thanks.
Yeah, ignore her. Apparently she doesn't know when to shut the fuck up.
I know exactly when
Um,
to shut up. This is not that time.
Yes, it is. Shut up. Yeah, I guess we'll have a look. Thanks for your help, I guess. Or not, I guess. Yep. And then just turns around and walks.
Okay, well, thanks for dropping in and giving me that demanding Celestials idioms to dwell on again. Well, it wasn't nice to meet you. Have a wonderful time. Good luck. Goodbye. And he just moves back towards the castle and says, "No, unfortunately, I still have work to do."
Good.
And that is part 1 of Act 2 finished. We did an act and a bit today. Congratulations. This is where the session ends.
I'm glad I could play up how disrespecting of authority my character is.
Yeah, that's great. And as everyone from Campaign 1 can now imagine, Rudy has turned into an overworked asshole.
No way.
Yeah, he resembles his father now.
No way.
Hmm.
No,
Crazy.
no
That's actually
way.
crazy.
But ultimately, he's just stressed.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Poor
Yep.
guy.
How we finding it? Thank you for playing.
Perfect.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Good.
I wanted to mention a few things from Campaign 1 throughout Act 2 specifically, where there's characters you won't meet, but I said everyone will at least get referenced, like Kinku. I currently have no plan of bringing him into the actual campaign, but he is still working with Fizzban behind the scenes.
He's great.
Yeah.
Love that
Right.
guy.
I did try and figure out why we couldn't raid last week, by the way. I don't know if we can still. So I'm just gonna try it out. Let's find someone who's streaming D&D, I guess.
It's not a affiliate thing, is it? Pretty sure you can raid
No,
regardless.
raids you can do just if you stream. I think it could be how young the account is, or it could be that a lot of channels have got two-step verification settings to sort of shield their raids from bot accounts and stuff. So I just need to look into them things.
I don't know how many bot accounts I banned during that.
Yeah, I noticed. I
Many.
had to fight the urge to thank you every time. Because I'm sure to stay to like the storytelling aspect. But yeah, just like last campaign, for those who were there, the early days there's less combat. It's more dialogue like this. You're sort of setting the foundations, and then I think part of Act 2 is where the combat's going to really come in, and you'll find yourself making use of the level up I am giving you right now.
Oh,
Wait, what?
Yeah, you
So
will
we're
level
leveling
up.
up.
Yes.
Yay!
You finished an entire act within a 2-hour session. 3-hour session, even. So yeah, you get a level up. Same as last campaign, you will level up not based on combat XP, but from achieving milestones. So yeah, you achieved a milestone. You recruited one member of the original Quad Maverick.
woo.
And
That's three
insulted
though,
the
right?
other.
And yeah, 2 of them were also recruited, but not by you. Otherwise, you would have got 3 level ups.
We get one this time, right?
Yeah, 1 level up.
Okay.
1 level. You should be level 4, I believe.
Indeed. It's our first level up.
It is, yes. Does anyone have any theory crafting before I attempt to raid someone?
I think Rudavir is overworked.
Yeah, that's a pretty good theory. That
Yeah,
was a good
maybe.
perception roll you made IRL for that. That was
Yeah, I think that one guy.
That one guy we just talked to, whose name I don't remember. Yeah.
Anything else? Oh my god, I found a fucking channel to try and raid. One of them, I think, is playing as a xenomorph. That is incredible. And we're absolutely going to try and raid this group. That is incredible. I love it. But yeah, that is basically the Fairwater part 1 aspect of Act 2. I will admit openly that there was one way Rudy would have agreed to work with you. And that's if Grug actually tried to keep a conversation going after the party started theirs. But you do get a second chance. I said you can absolutely take part in dialogue. That's why I led Rudy to you.
But you also said I wasn't allowed to try and convince him. It had to be the party's job.
They had to bring him to you, is what I said.
Oh,
Yes.
I misunderstood then.
I probably worded it badly. I might have said go and convince him, not thinking. But yeah, you will get a chance next session. Little meta game for you. Because I
Let's
kind of
just,
want
like,
Rudy to stick around for
tape-
when he's needed.
Let's put tape over Salem's mouth if we go back to speak to him.
Oh, I thought you were going to say put tape all over Rudy so he can't run away.
Oh, that's true. We can just steal him.
Yeah, so if you partake in dialogue with Rudy as Grug, remind me not to ask you for rolls. There's no checks to make. You simply have to be involved to sway him, as he will be sort of like, oh yeah, fuck it, adventure with my buddy, and maybe it's the break I need, sort of thing.
Okay.
Yes. That is, I think, the only metagaming I'm going to do throughout this entire campaign. Because we need to get the whole band back together for a little moment, you know?
Hey, dude, we're getting the band back together.
Band back together.
But yes, that was 1/3 of Act 2. You have 2 more places I think you could possibly go that were listed.
Act 2 or Act 1?
This is Act 2. You are in Act 2. You finished Act 1 today. Fairwater was part of Act 2, but it was quite conveniently the shortest off-branch of Act 2 that you could do. The other 2 will take longer.
Will we be able to, like, I don't know if this campaign is going to work the same as the other one, where we're allowed to go see, like, people if we're from the towns and stuff?
Yeah, it's absolutely open world while you have the airship. That's why I gave it to you. I wanted to make this one a lot freer. Right. There's an entire section of Act 1 where I just wrote ad lib.
I think that no, what I meant was like, since we're in Fairwater, obviously since Saturn's from Fairwater, can she go see family?
Yeah, I'm not going to stop you. Last campaign was a lot more linear, but that's like the one thing I am trying to change about this one. I'm trying to make it more like an open world sort of game for you to get into. You choose your own adventure. That's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
Campaign 1 was my first time DMing, so this is me making a whole new campaign based in the same world with this, you know, references and all that shit. Using new knowledge. But yeah, I'm gonna try and raid these fellas and fellettes. Yes. They're called Arcadum. Let's see. Raid settings do not allow you to raid at this time. I'm gonna look into it after we end stream then. Another raidless stream. And for those on YouTube, all of them will be raidless no matter what. As it will probably only recommend the next video in the series to you.
You should probably watch that one. It might be a good one.
Maybe, who knows? We stopped using camera after session 0, but I'm pointing to like just above me where there's likely going to be a suggested video. Go watch that one, it's really cool. Oh man. Unless it's not, unless it's not our channel, in which case go fuck yourself.
There's this one over here that seems pretty cool as well, though.
Are you pointing the breadstick? Whenever you speak, it's like it's the staff with the baguette on the end. You're pointing it to the left side, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to put an end to this session then, stream-wise. Thank you all for playing. Thank our chat and YouTube viewers for watching. Nice cock. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.